Actually, in my opinion, right, it's just a concept, but it does like it's off the principles of AH, like like write the same rule book. You target the little hats, and then it goes on from there. But like in this situation, across the board, across all different races in America, they are universally disliked. And then going off of that, America has let Israel loose. Also, Israel is by the countries that
Okay, I'm
dislike
sorry. Hold
America.
on. You're saying it again that they're letting Israel lose. How is Israel losing? What are they losing?
Well, how is Israel loose? I mean, the occupied West Bank and East
Oh, they're
Palestine.
letting them loose,
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
lose.
So,
Okay,
and I
I'm
think it's in the
so
hopes of a
confused. Okay, so
localized.
yours. Okay, hold on. So let me see if I can repeat this back to you. Are you saying that Israel is being allowed to run rampant to where people are more likely to be anti-Semitic
Yes,
because the United
yes,
States is allowing Israel to just do so many horrible
yes. And
things?
then and keep in mind the same people. I'm not talking about presidents. Keep in mind these are people in agencies who have stayed in their power for over 20 years. It stretches far beyond presidents. Like, the director of CIA, the director of Homeland Security, people like that. Those are the real people in power, not presidents. You know?
I just totally disagree. I don't agree
I
with
mean,
that at all.
you can. I mean, would you say Donald Trump is a puppet?
Mm, it depends on by what you mean by puppet. Like I think that he's like I think that he's used in ways that are like not beneficial to the United States, but I think that like it's all his agency. I think that he chooses to do these things.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he chooses to do these things, but there are like certain policies that he probably didn't even come up with,
Yeah, of course.
Like the Hormuz Strait being blockaded. Like no one was even going through there to begin with. That's just like a power play. Like no, like he's not like necessarily giving orders. I'm saying like
What do you mean nobody was going through there? What do you mean by that?
I mean like I don't think anybody was going through there through like the ship logs, not the online ship logs where you can track the ships. No one was really going through there.
Um. Okay, I'm not. I'm not really understanding. There were ships that are going through there. There are ships that are being told as they go through the Strait of Hormuz. It's just that the United States is blockading it to make it to where if they're going anywhere except for like, um, they would allow U.S. allies and countries like that to go through, or if it's humanitarian aid, they're allowing that to go through. But like they would still be able to ship oil and uh, things of that sort to their own to Iranian allies if the United States wasn't blockading. So
Who was Iranian allies?
uh, countries like China. I mean, the last caller kept talking about China as well. I mean, I don't disagree that like China is obviously an
I
Iranian
don't think
ally,
China's going to
but
help Muslims. I really don't, because look what they did to the Uyghurs.
why that's a little bit different. Like
It's
Muslims in
not.
their own country is very different than Muslims outside of their country. China just wants to ally with countries that are going to one give them more power and give them more influence
Can
like
Asians be
throughout the
racist?
world, and two they want to ally with countries that are against the United States.
For sure, you can say that all you want, but like and I shouldn't say like, but majority of the culture of Asia is like respondent to European culture. So you're going off of that. They have the same dislikes, the same whatnot, same modernity, and going off of that, what do you think majority of Americans, Europeans think about Arabs? They don't like them. So
I'm
that just
sorry,
tells you
what do you
what
I don't understand what you're saying. The United States is like they're Iran is bombing all of their neighbors because their neighbors are closer to the United States than they are to Iran. So
Oh yeah,
Iran
they're all
is
vassal
using
states. They're all like oil production.
so then what are you saying? I'm not understanding.
I was saying earlier that there's a second Holocaust is being socially engineered, and then that what led to me telling you certain directors of agencies are being allowed, like letting that happen. So, and then I also told you the president's a puppet. So, I mean, I don't know.
Well, I meant as far as like it sounded like you were saying that none of these other countries like the United States, and that they're all like against Western nations. But I was saying that like Iran is bombing all of these countries because they're closer to the United States than they are to them.
Yeah, as in, are you talking about as in like geographically, like they are closer,
No,
or
like
like?
in terms of like being an ally, in terms of like working relationships, they are
Well,
closer
yeah,
to the
because they're
United
part of
States.
APEC. A blow to
Yep.
them would be the blow to the U.S. dollar.
OPEC.
OPEC, my bad.
Okay, I was gonna say they're part of APEC. Okay. Yes, but again, like that says that like they're the idea that these people are all against like Western interests seems to be contradicted by the fact that they're not as against Western interests as Iran is. They seem to be more willing to work within U.S. interests than Iran. Obviously, they're not like real allies. They're not like Western democracies. They're not part of like a full coalition of Western centric, sorts of global powers, but they are more willing to work with us than with Iran, and that says a lot about your theory that they're just kind of against us.
Who, the Israelites or the Iranians?
Neither, like the Gulf nations.
The Gulf nation. Oh, I mean, I didn't say that they were necessarily against us. I said that
I thought you were
they're
saying the
vassal
Muslim
states.
countries are against us.
I wouldn't call these necessarily Muslim countries. I would say Iran is the only Muslim country because it adheres to certain aspects of Islam, other than the other Muslim countries, which pick and choose, the religious doctrines of Islam, like
Okay.
letting women to drive, letting women not wear not hijabs, but oh yeah, the hijabs. And what's
Sorry,
the other
when I
one?
say Muslim countries, I don't mean like a Muslim state, like countries with Muslim people. Okay, so you're saying when you say Muslim countries are against the Western. Okay, I get what you're saying now. Okay, that I guess that makes more sense.
Yeah, I mean, I would say there these so-called Muslim countries lean towards more synchronity or with Christianity, making them more like lean towards Christian values more than necessarily Islamic values.
So why do they want to socially engineer a second Holocaust? What is the long-term plan here?
Oh, to get both those people off our back. I mean, one people off our back, I should say, because Semitic is synonymous with Arabic.
I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking. Okay, so when you say dude, I have no idea what you're saying. Like I feel like every time you speak, I'm more confused.
Okay, so I'm saying the American cabal is socially engineering a second Holocaust of Israelis. Okay,
Why?
because they have let loose Israel. War crimes after war
No, no,
crimes
no. Why do they want a second Holocaust? What is the plan? What is the
to
goal of this?
what was it? Invoke fascism.
To invoke fascism in the United States.
Yeah, so it make it more universally accepted.
And so they're going to say, hey, a bunch of people are anti Semitic, so now we're fascist.
No, I wouldn't say anti-Semitic. I mean, Zion. You could say any. You can call any Jew a Zionist because the fact that any Jew has a homeland that they have dual citizenship when they're born with, even though they're 3,000 miles away.
Well, they
What
can
other
they
do
can
we have a
get the
Christian country?
citizenship. It doesn't mean that they actually have the citizenship.
You can get them, but you can. What do you mean? There's also. Have you looked at the
Meaning that you're
federal
not
grants?
born with the citizenship just because you're born as a Jew. You have to actually
You're
sign up. No, you have to actually try. You have to get the citizenship. You don't just
I
automatically get
guess
it.
how
You
easy.
have
I
to.
mean, well, of course, if because it's Jewish families. It's not that
Yes, but
hard.
that's what I'm saying. Is that you're making it sound like every single Jewish person just automatically has it, whereas like I would imagine by far actually no, yeah, it seems as though by far the majority of Jewish people who were born in the United States do not get citizenship in Israel.
Well, because they don't need to go to Israel.
Yes, so
They have
your whole
plans
idea
here.
that they have dual citizenship, it just isn't true.
It is true. Look at the Senate. There's like 6 of them in the Senate right now.
Oh my goodness. It the six people in the Senate have dual citizenship?
Yeah, six people in the House and Senate have dual citizenship with Israel, and there was even one of the governors.
That is not true.
It is true. One of the governors.
It is
It's true.
not.
It's
It
true.
is
I swear to
not.
God. I swear to
It
God. You
is
can look that shit up.
not. It is not. Yes, you could pull it up. There is no evidence that so tons of people who are in the Senate are Jewish, but they just assume they have dual citizenship. These people haven't stated they have
Yeah,
dual
there may be
citizenship.
more than 6 people that are Jewish, but 6 of those Jewish people have dual citizenship with Israel. It's. I mean, yeah, like you're saying. I understand. I agree. But at the end of the day, there's still people with dual citizenship running our
Okay,
politics.
so
Running our
just
media.
based on a quick search on Google, it says based on available public records and official biographies, there are no known officially confirmed U.S. senators who hold dual citizenship with Israel. While accusations regarding dual loyalty sometimes surface, these are generally considered unsubstantiated misinformation. So this is exactly what I was saying. So that
I mean,
there's
even
no
though, I mean, substantiated, but you still at the end of it. I mean, if I was Jewish, right, there are certain
But again, the
roads for
majority of
me.
Jews don't get dual citizenship. The
Well,
majority of them don't ever apply for the citizenship.
I'm saying it's so easy
But
for
you're
them.
making it sound but you're making it sound as though because because they're Jewish, we can just assume that they have dual citizenship. But then we know that the majority of Jews don't get dual citizenship, but yet we're still assuming that these people have dual citizenship just because they're Jewish. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, okay, I can see how it doesn't make sense, but what I was saying, right? If they're Jewish, it's an ethno religion. At the end of the day, if you're Jewish and you have the genealogy of Judaism or a Hebrew or a Nazarene, Sephardic, there are multiple what was it, phenotypes and whatnot of this group. So it's not that hard for a Jewish lineage to have a dual citizenship. Like you don't, it's not that hard to have. Well, example, if a Jewish family owns land in Israel, right, and they go to America for the summers, it's not that hard for them to have a kid there in America, bring it back, and get a citizenship right there. It's not that hard. And that's one example, to be honest, too. Another example is Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein, we all know he's alive, and we all know he's in Israel. And how do you think he got? How do you think he
We
got
don't
there?
all know he's alive.
There was a picture of him just like what was it 3 weeks ago of him in Israel.
There's pictures of him in Miami as well.
There is, and there's pictures of him at a basketball game I saw.
Yeah,
So,
he's in a lot
he's
of places
around
at
here.
once.
Who do you think is stronger, Diddy or Jeffrey Epstein?
Stronger? You mean like who am I putting on my pedophile fantasy team?
Yeah.
Jeffrey Epstein, probably.
Yeah, he does have the connections, I bet.
Yeah.
But I think that's all I had to say, though.
Okay.
My opinion.
All right. Later.
Later, I'll give you a follow.
All right, appreciate it. My fantasy pedophile. So that's why I still support Trump, because Jeffrey Epstein's still alive. You're a big fan of big Jeffrey Epstein fan? Rubio is birthright Cuban. Yeah, there's a number of people who actually do have dual citizenship who are in Congress. It's just not the ones that everybody complains about, which are the Jews. But whatever. Ted Cruz was born in Canada. Yeah, but he had his parents had whatever it's called, where he still gets birthright citizenship while out of the state. What's up, Elroy? Oh, I haven't loaded yet. Everybody take a second. Tap the screen. Tap that screen. We're only at 8.5 thousand. If we can get up to 10,000 real quick, I'll stay on for a little bit longer. Otherwise, I'm probably going to be getting off here shortly. But if we can tap the screen, get it up to about 10K pretty quick, then yeah, it looks like Elroy moved on before we could pull him up. Also, Salty Boobies, I don't know if you know, but you do keep requesting up. And then also share the live, repost it. That makes it to where TikTok tends to put the live, it really feeds it into the algorithm. What's up, Benny?
How you doing, sir? Good?
Doing well. How are you?
Good, good. So, I have a question here. So, last election I voted for Trump, and maybe it's not the best idea, but let me tell you this. Trump, shows the world that America has power. He's a powerful man. He stands behind what he says. He gave the threat to Iran. He said, if you're not doing it by this time, you'll be bombed. You'll be this. Your bridges are done. So I think that he has influence and he has power. And I think that a Democrat in the recent time doesn't have those attributes like Kamala Harris or Joe Biden. We were getting laughed at with Joe Biden, and Kamala Harris was not a serious candidate. So I think that the Democrats, I don't have anything against the Democratic Party, but I think the candidates that are representing the Democrats are a problem.
Okay. Let me read this to you real quick, okay? This will take about 2 minutes, so let me just read this real quick. So, on March 18th, Trump berates Israel through a Truth Social post for bombing Iran's largest power plant, South Pars gas field, saying Israel didn't tell him they were going to do it, and if they had, he would have stopped them. But Trump adds at the end of this post that if Iran bombs Qatar or any other bordering nations again, he'll obliterate South Pars gas field himself. Then, March 21st, Trump says they have 48 hours before he obliterates their power plants. Iran is still bombing their border nations. They never stopped, even though he said that he was going to obliterate their power plants. They're still doing it. Now, March 23rd, 21st, he says they have 48 hours. Okay. The 23rd, Trump says he's delaying obliterating their power plants because Iran reached out to make a deal. Iran says they never reached out to make a deal and that negotiations are not happening. But Trump extends his threat 5 more days. March 26th, 5 days from the 21st, Trump now extends the deadline 10 more days, saying that if Iran doesn't open the strait, they'll see a period of energy power plant destruction. He says they have until 8 p.m. on April 6th. On April 1st, even though Trump said they have until the 6th, Trump now says until the strait is open, free and clear, he's going to bomb Iran into oblivion, or as some say, back to the Stone Ages. April 4th, Trump again tells Iran they have 48 hours to open the strait, or all hell will rain down on them, again making the deadline the 6th. On April 6th, Trump says he's extending the deadline to April 7th at 8 p.m., saying if they don't open the strait, it'll be power plant and bridge day. Later that same day, he said every bridge and power plant in Iran was going to be decimated by 12 o'clock on April 7th, even though earlier he said 8 p.m. April 7th, Trump posted on Truth Social threatening to kill the entire civilization of Iran, never to be brought back if Iran doesn't open the strait by 8 p.m. that night. That night, Trump referenced a 15-point plan of demands that he had sent a week earlier, asking Iran to agree to the proposal. Iran rejected the 15-point plan and instead responded with their own list of their own 10-point list of demands, of which Trump accepted as a starting point for negotiations.
All right, sir, I understand.
April 9th, Iran continues bombing Israel and the Strait, and Donald Trump has not responded in any of the ways that he's said he would. So he keeps giving ultimatums and never stands up to them. You said this is great because Donald Trump threatens them, he stands by his word, and that he doesn't back down. All three of those things are disproven. He is making us look weak as fuck because he keeps threatening to do things that he is not going to actually do.
So let me tell you something. So during a wartime, I don't support the war against Iran. I think it's just propaganda from Israel, but that's another story. But when a war is going on, stuff are happening fast. So Iran saying that they didn't even talk to Trump. Do you really believe Iran? I mean, Iran says they're not unaliving their prisoners. I mean, they're protesters. So I don't know if I trust their word. And another thing is,
well, the problem is that it doesn't benefit them any to lie about that. While I agree that I don't trust Iran normally, I would never trust Iran in general. In this case, it makes absolutely no sense for them to lie if they're negotiating and they want negotiations, like they want the war to end.
Let me tell you,
never lie about that. It doesn't make sense.
Let me tell you, the spokesperson for the military of Iran, the guy with the beard, he's like saying that, you know, we're never gonna back down. We're gonna destroy America. We're gonna do this. So it makes him look weak when he comes up saying that he's gonna destroy America. He's gonna, you know, destroy Israel, do all this stuff, and then the next day, Trump and him or Trump and his government are having negotiations. So, you know what I mean? That's a problem for him.
I guess the problem is that Iran has like a bunch of separations of power right now. Like there is no one person in charge. So yes, there is like a person who's standing up there talking big and bad from the IRGC, but they're not like, there's no one person who's in charge right now.
Just honestly looking at Trump's promises before he got elected, like lowering the gas prices, ceasefire in Gaza. And what else? Like, you know, lowering this overall prices of stuff. We've seen the overall prices of stuff lowered before the war, and we've seen a ceasefire happen in Israel and Gaza, Palestine, whatever. So, I mean, I don't think that Kamala would have done the job that Trump's doing. The only mistake that I believe that Trump's made is this war in Iran. I think it was a waste of money and waste of time, waste of everything.
We didn't see an overall drop in prices. The price index went up under Trump, and lots of those things were directly as a cause of his tariffs. He was causing prices to go up personally. Whereas under Biden had to deal with record-breaking inflation that the whole world was dealing with. It was not just the United States. The whole world was dealing with inflation, and Biden we had the fastest recovery out of all G7 nations and had the best recovery out of all G7 nations. The idea that like Kamala wouldn't have been able to do the same thing that Biden did, whereas with Trump, he literally did the opposite of this. It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense.
So with the tariffs, I think the tariffs is one of the, you know, most smartest things you can ever do. America is being taken advantage of by these countries, and they're charging us all this money. So, you know, we're gonna charge them, and obviously it doesn't happen right away.
Hold on, wait. Hold on. I'm sorry. A tariff is not charging the other country. That's not what a tariff is. A tariff is where you charge your own country. You just said they're taking advantage of us, so we're going to charge them. We're not charging them. We're charging us.
No. That's not how. You know how the tariffs work?
Yes, a tariff is a tax on imports, meaning that you are charging your companies in your country to import things.
Yes, to other countries.
Yes. No, import, not export, import. So if if something comes from China, if I'm a buyer, I own a business and I want to buy something from China, okay? Whatever I buy, if he puts a 50% tariff on that, If I buy $1,000 of something, I now have to pay $500 extra that goes just to the government.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Me as the American consumer,
Exactly.
me as the American business, I pay extra money.
Yes. So exactly, this is what I'm trying to say. So we look at these big corporations, right? And there's many cases like in Flint, in Michigan, and all these other companies that, you know, laid off or fired American workers to hire workers from other, like T-Mobile is an example, hire workers from other countries because they you know, work for less. And, you know, tariffs, what does tariffs do? Tariffs forces the companies to produce and to work and to do everything in the United States, which saves us money
But
and
it
which
doesn't,
benefits
though.
the Americans.
It doesn't, though. So throughout history, we know that tariffs have actually changed the market. It doesn't level the market. What it ends up doing the majority of the time is changing the market. So if somebody puts, let's say I sell steel, and I get all of the steel here at home, whereas somebody else from another country, they import their steel. Okay, Donald Trump, let's say he puts a 50% tariff on this, to where now they're paying 50% more. So now they raise their prices to make up the difference for that steel. Okay. I'm looking at this now saying, oh, wow, consumers are willing to pay that much more for steel. Well, then I'm going to raise my prices as well. I want to make that much off steel. So now I just raise my prices because the prices for things are based on what people are willing to pay for it. So if these companies can all raise their prices, then I can raise my prices as well. That's how it always works out. So what all you end up doing is you don't end up pressuring this company into saying, oh, I'll take the cheaper steel here from home. You make it to where the companies here at home raise their prices to where there isn't cheaper steel. Everybody is more expensive now.
So you don't think tariffs is going to work in the long run?
There's absolutely no reason to believe that they would. The companies, the main idea that Trump put forward was that he was using this to push businesses into building here in the United States, that he wanted them to create jobs here in the United States. Not only have we drastically dropped in job creation because nobody wants to work to build here if they have to pay these insane tariffs, but on top of that, they're not only not building here, but the companies that are already here are moving their businesses somewhere else. They are continuing to offshore their labor in other countries. We have had a drastic decline in job creation under Donald Trump. Drastic decline, like drastic decline.
I don't have a response because I have to see, like, you know, I don't have any data or anything in front of me or any, you know, anything like that. But a question I wanted to ask you is, who is a potential candidate for the Democratic Party?
Gavin Newsom seems to be like a fan favorite right now.
Gavin Newsom. Who else?
I think Kamala Harris is the second right now.
But don't
I think
you see
Gavin Newsom
issues with these candidates, Gavin Newsom and Kamala Harris? I mean, I think that's these are not good candidates. Especially Gavin Newsom.
I think right now a lump of coal could beat the Republican Party.
So I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't believe in the Democrats that they can get.
Go grab a pickle out of your refrigerator. That thing will be able to beat whoever runs as a Republican.
Really?
Yeah. That we see this already across the country where Democrats are winning at unprecedented rates because
Marco Rubio is a good choice for the Republicans. Marco Rubio is good.
I think Marco Rubio is actually like somebody that will do better. Probably, I think he'll probably be. I think he's more likely to be the Republican candidate than J.D. Vance. The problem is that he's going to be stuck. MAGA is splitting, and then the independents that voted for Trump are all completely off the Trump train. And the independents are the largest part of the voting bloc right now. Like they're bigger than Democrats, they're bigger than Republicans. Independents are the plurality, and so independents, if J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio come out, and they defend Donald Trump and his war and his tariffs and all of those things, they're going to lose the independents. But if they don't defend those things, they're going to lose MAGA. And so they're totally fucked. Like they're going to split the voting base one way or the other. Whereas Democrats don't have this problem. They had this problem in 2020 or 2024 where Kamala Harris was defending Joe Biden, which ended up splitting people. But right now, yeah, we don't have this issue.
I think that Trump's biggest mistake was the war in Iran. He shouldn't have done that shit. He just fucked the people up, but what are you gonna do about it?
But this is the problem isn't like that he just went to war now. The problem is that in his very first term, he already fucked up relationships with Iran in the first place.
Yeah, so he unalived the general over there, and he was talking.
I mean, I didn't mind the bombing of like Soleimani. I didn't think that ended up turning out okay. So it wasn't that crazy. But I just think the pulling us out of the JCPOA made it to where a war like this just became inevitable because Donald Trump isn't willing to take like good faith negotiations from the Iranians, and so this is just like an obvious path that Donald Trump was gonna go down.
I think we're creating enemies, so we should just hands off the Middle East, hands off Ukraine, stop sending money to Ukraine and all these countries. We focus on America and make America better. That's what I think, but.
Well, I mean, that's what Trump said he was going to do, but.
That's why I voted for him.
But the problem is that he didn't do this in his first term. This is the issue. This is why it's frustrating. Is because a bunch of people say like, "Oh man, I voted for this guy to do X, Y, and Z, and now he's not doing it. So now I'm off the Trump train." So why weren't you off the Trump train after the first term when he didn't do any of this stuff? He ran on all the same crap the first time. He didn't do any of it the first time. So why would you vote for him again? It doesn't make any sense.
Seemed appealing this time. I don't know. I guess not.
Well, I mean, listen. I mean, I grew up conservative. I grew up a Republican, and kind of went through similar things where the Republican Party over and over just kind of seemed to be letting me down. But I felt like over time, I started to realize that the Democrats, I didn't even like change any of my values. They just actually seemed to represent all of my values across the board better than the Republicans did. Like just across the board, top to bottom, they seem to just do all of the right things.
Yeah. Well, listen, it was nice talking to you. Hope you have a good rest of your night. And
you too. Have a good one. Later. If you guys are watching on YouTube, we're debating on TikTok. If you guys want to head over and request up, go to tiktok.com/Tomfoolery Show. And you can click the live from there. Is Vincent coming up? Vincent.
How you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Not too bad.
Did you have a disagreement?
I had a disagreement that Democrats are better in almost every possible way.
Okay.
Okay,
what's an area where you think they would be worse?
So do you believe that a possible country collapse would be that there would be a civil war?
I'm sorry, are you asking if it's possible that there would be a civil war, or are you asking if a civil war would collapse the country?
No, what is it like? Is there a possibility for a civil war?
I suppose, yeah.
Okay, do you believe from walking away from fights?
It depends on the fight.
So, in a sense, all people are no one's good, and on both sides, nobody's good on both sides. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I do not agree with Trump and what he's doing in Iran. I think it's bullshit. I think he is looking way too far in the future. I think if you were to, in a long run, I guess I can understand what he's doing, but in his term, he just doesn't have enough time. So I think this whole Iran thing is a bunch of bullshit.
What do you mean he doesn't have enough time? Like it seems like you're coming up with some granular conspiracy for why he's doing this instead of like what it is that we know, that Netanyahu went up to the White House and gave a plan for why he thought that the United States should help him in this war against Iran, and they decided to help him because they thought it would be a short war. So what do you mean they don't have enough time? Like the idea was that it was supposed to take a couple weeks at most.
Maybe so, or I don't know. The way that I look at it is just the whole economy just crash. Eventually, I mean, China's going to run out of oil and gas. We're going to run out of oil and gas. I mean, everyone's going to run out here. But that's not exactly the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make that Democrats are no better than Republicans.
I think that is like literally just something that people say for like a tentative defense of Donald Trump. That is it. Like both sides are not the same. They're not. The Democrats are just a billion times better than Donald Trump, especially like just consider the war right now. Democrats were the ones who actually engaged in diplomacy and were actually able to come to deals with Iran. We're actually able to make trades with them. We're actually get them to engage civilly. Like this is a blatant example where Democrats were just a billion times better in this area.
So you don't think that necessarily the Democratic people are better than Republicans? You're just talking about government.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would you say to the border control then?
Yeah, I'm assuming you're talking about under Joe Biden.
Yes. Under anyone.
Under Joe Biden. Well, not under anyone. Obama had like some of the best border control of my lifetime, and he put all of the things in place to where Donald Trump then came in and didn't have to do anything and ended up having the lowest amount of border crossings of any president, and still claimed it was a national emergency for him to stop border crossings while setting records for the lowest numbers, because Obama put in everything in place so that he didn't have to have any of those issues. And then Obama sets the record for the most deportations in an 8-year period. Joe Biden has the most deportations in a 4-year period. Like, these are people who are like trying to create long-term fixes. Donald Trump literally just came in, signed a bunch of executive orders that the next president can just come in and undo. That it doesn't fix anything. He's putting band-aids on stuff. He doesn't want long-term solutions. He wants something that he can fix for now so that Democrats can undo it, and then Republicans can run on this again and fearmonger about it again. But during Joe Biden's presidency, they were trying to get what's called the border bill passed, that actually put more troops at the border, put more money towards CBP, put more judges in place so that if people come in and claim an asylum, they can get them out faster because 95% of the people get rejected. They can, there were so many things that actually fixed the issues. But the Republicans agreed to that bill, and then once it got put up, then they voted against it. Why did they vote against it? Because Donald Trump told them to, because he wanted to run on this issue.
Right. And I completely agree with you. I'm neutral coming to political, just because I think both sides are, in my opinion, I think both sides are doing BS things. Granted, Trump is taking action against Iran. I mean, eventually it was going to have to be done. But I think the way that he's doing it is just
Well,
BS.
just real quick, we were talking, you were initially saying that, like, it's both sides. And I'm saying it's not both sides. Your first issue that you brought up is the border, where it obviously seems as though, again, it's not both sides. There's one side trying to fix it, the other side doing everything they can to try to stop Democrats from fixing it. What's another issue where you think both sides are a problem?
So one, Democrats are responsible for most of the mass shootings in the United States, and that is proven. Democrats are responsible for a lot of riots. There was a notable Republican riot when Trump was cheated out of the election, quote unquote. I'm not going to say he was or anything like that. But Democrats are responsible for most of the riots and most of mass shootings in America.
So not mass shootings, no. Like I guess it depends on how you define mass shootings. Like normally, if we talk about mass shootings, we're talking about like politically motivated things, not just like a gang shooting or something
So
like that.
okay,
But
okay, so
I
maybe
believe
just shootings
Democrat, just to be clear, I believe Democrat cities do have like a disproportionate amount of murders. I believe Republican states have the most murders, like by far. Like, and normally murders are felonies, therefore they're regulated on the state level, not city level.
but you with those whole then again though, both sides are doing bad things. I still believe that Democrats are responsible for most of the riots, even with the ones that were going on in Minnesota when ICE was down there. And
Hold on, just be clear. When you say Democrats, like when I'm trying to keep these, like politicians are not responsible for the riots. Politicians are not like encouraging riots. They're not responsible for the riots. Now, people on the left are more often going to riot than people on the right. That's true. People on the right are more likely to engage in like a terrorist attack than people on the left. But this is not something that's encouraged by Democrats, and it's pretty staunchly denounced by Democrats to riot or to commit any sort of political violence. That's not the case on the right. The right does not denounce all political violence. Every time it happens on their side, they defend it, especially Donald Trump, who is the leader of the Republican Party right now. He not only defended the stuff at January 6th, but ended up pardoning all of those people. And then even after after Tyler Robinson went and shot Charlie Kirk, he said that people on the left commit terrorist attacks because they're evil. People on the right commit terrorist attacks because they want good things. He's literally like saying that they're right for doing this shit. The people on the left are wrong for doing it. Like he is encouraging people on his side to commit these sort of acts. Democrats don't encourage people to commit riots or commit political violence.
The thing I want to bring up is president assassinations. So compared to the Republican assassinations to the one Democratic assassinations, and most of these assassinations coming from a Democrat.
I'm sorry, what are we talking about?
So Donald Trump was recently almost assassinated by a Democrat. Abraham Lincoln was assassinated by a Democrat.
Okay.
And Robert F. Kennedy was also. So all these presidents that I'm bringing up were all almost assassinated or assassinated by a Democrat.
Pretty sure the guy who killed our RFK or JFK, I mean, hated Democrats. I'm pretty sure he was a communist and he hated the Democrats. But on top of that, like the parties back in the time of Abraham Lincoln were drastically different. That they were not anywhere close to the same as they are today. Like the KKK literally used to be the most conservative people who wanted to take things back to an older time. Like the most conservative people were Democrats back then. So it was very, very different scenario. If we just look at like parties instead of ideology, like ideology would be a bigger part of that. But that doesn't mean much when, yes, like one of the people who attempted to assassinate Donald Trump was on the right. One of them was on the left. Out of two assassinations, like 50% of it was somebody on the left. And then on top of that, if you just look at overall like politicians, not just presidents, we literally just had numerous assassinations against Democrats after the No Kings protests, one of them being murdered with her and her husband. And then we've had numerous other attempts against Democrats over the last 20 years. Like the majority of these of attempts against politicians are by people on the right against Democrats.
Right. And the whole reason I wanted to talk about what I'm talking about today was the whole Charlie Kirk situation. It is hard to want to debate politics when things like that happen. And that's why I don't think any side's right. I think both sides are a bunch of just nonsense. if you really want
But
me
I'm
to
sorry,
be honest.
I need you. Okay, so I understand like the picture here. I understand like the optics of it and how it looks, and that makes sense. When you see, especially like Democrats, when they are, BLM, they're rioting a bunch, they're tearing up cities, they're burning down buildings, and then you have stuff like the Charlie Kirk scenario, and there's a bunch of people on TikTok who are celebrating this crap. I get like why that looks like a group of people that you don't want to be a part of. The problem is that when these things happen from the right, it doesn't seem as though Democrats take it and weaponize it in the same way against right-wingers as right-wingers do against the left. When we're talking about people who were celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, these were not leaders within the Democrat Party. These were not people who have like a big following. These are not people who are motivating people to celebrate Charlie Kirk's death. And there was nobody like excusing it or anything, but everybody was across the board. All of the Democrats denounced the shooting of Charlie Kirk across the board. If you look at the leaders within this party, if you look at the leaders within this movement, they are very clearly against political violence and make it clear no matter who's doing it. But as I mentioned, that's not the same on the right. Donald Trump has consistently encouraged people and celebrates the death of people if they are on the left. This is a thing where I understand the optics of it, but we're looking at nobodies on TikTok, 15-year-olds on TikTok celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, when the president of the United States and the actual leaders within the Republican Party are celebrating the death of people on the left. These are not comparable, and I don't feel like it's fair to both sides something like this when one side's party is doing this, one side's leaders are doing this, the other side's leaders are not doing it at all across the board. There's not a big name Democrat that you can name that did this. There's not one that was in like alternative media or mainstream media that was celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. There's not one in the Democrat Party that's a congressman or like you just can't mention people in the Democrat Party who ever do this. But I can go on forever on Republicans who do this. People who are not only leaders as in politicians, but people in media, people in alternative media. I can go on forever on lists of people who have celebrated deaths of people on the left.
Mm-hmm. So
I just feel like it's unfair to kind of both sides of this thing. They're not equivalent.
No, yeah, I completely understand. But can we say that one side's really better than the other though?
Well, yes, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know if I can agree with you. I don't know, because I think
so. Okay, so do me a favor. What I'm trying to explain is that the leaders of the movement are the ones who kind of like dictate the way that the movement goes, right? The leaders within our movement, if you look at them and say these are the people that I would want to follow, that's what I'm asking you to do. I'm not asking you to look at the 15-year-olds on TikTok who would celebrate Charlie Kirk's death and say, I want to be part of those people, because those people are heavily denounced by our leaders. Our leaders don't want to be a part of them either. It's our leadership that matters. Our leadership that seems to be, pushing us in the right direction. There's a big split on the left where there's what we call leftists who are like socialists, communists, Marxists. These people hate Democrats. And Democrats hate them. Like liberals and leftists are very separate groups of people. But we're kind of combined by right-wing media where they act like we're all the same group. And this would be like us pretending that like every Republican is the same as Nick Fuentes or Richard Spencer, like, or the KKK. Like we understand those distinctions. We know that they're very different groups of people, and we don't compile them all as though they're all the same. But that is what happens to the left. And so I'm just asking you to like really think about this as the leadership within the Democrat Party and the leaders on the left, the people who are thought leaders, the people who are pushing us in a direction. Look at their actions. Look at what it is that they're doing. Don't look at the 15-year-old on TikTok and say that that's the representation of the left, because that's what the right-wing party does. Ben Shapiro will go grab the TikTok video of the left-winger and play it 50 times over saying this is the Democrat Party, but it's not. It's just a little anecdote.
So leadership-wise, I agree with you. I think Democrats are doing a better job than Republicans as of right now.
Sure.
but I can't say, like, I mean, all the time that Democrats have been great, Republicans have been great, but in this moment in time, I think leadership-wise, Democrats are doing better than Republicans.
I would agree with that. Like, I'm pretty critical of like what Democrats were about 10 years ago, and even during COVID, like what Nancy Pelosi was doing and the kind of bullcrap that was going on then. There's a lot of like dumb stuff that was happening before. But I think a lot of the like never Trumper people have come into the Democrat Party and have reshaped it into a more like a moderate and logical party than it was before.
But I mean, that's all I have. I mean, I can agree. Just strictly leadership-wise, I think Democrats are doing better than Republicans.
Okay. Well, like I said, what I'm a liberal. I'm a Democrat. I don't associate with those people. I denounce the BLM people. I denounce the people who were celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. Like, I think that those people just like kind of give the right ammo against all of us. But I also wish the right wasn't so dishonest in pretending that those people are representative of the left and of the Democrats, because I don't think we do that to them. I don't think we do the same to them. So,
but yeah, man.
But all right, man. Have a good one.
You have a
Appreciate
good one. You too.
All right. God forbid you support Black Lives. Yeah, those freaking Black Lives, dude. Why would they matter? Ask him if you can find any random nobodies on the right celebrating unaliving. The only grown-ups in the room are Democrat leaders. Well, I mean, again, yeah, like it's not even just any random nobodies on the right. It's the president. It's actual leaders on the right who are still doing this. So it's that to me is the main thing that I want people to focus on. We can all go find anecdotes of people on the right or the left doing and saying horrible things. We can all do this. It's not hard to do, especially in like the age of the internet. I can go find tons of right-wingers saying horribly racist or transphobic or homophobic things on a daily basis if I wanted to, and then just keep plastering this all over the place. This is the Republican Party. This is what they are. This is what they want. But that would just be horribly bad faith, because that's not the same thing. It's not they're not all the same. And this is kind of what the right does to us. So it's really infuriating. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right-wing leaders are acting like random nobodies. Yes, correct. We like when you can only find the 15-year-old nobody on TikTok who's on the left celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, or celebrating a death of somebody, or celebrating a terrorist attack of some sorts. We don't have to go find some random nobody. We don't have to go find a 15-year-old to make that case. We can just look at the president of the United States. So it's really annoying. But I understand, like I said, I understand like the optics of it and the way that people think of it, because for a long time I've had an issue identifying as on the left or as a liberal. Like there's a lot of cognitive dissonance there for me as well, because as I said, moving away from the right, and moving away from the Republican Party, moving away from Donald Trump, so many fucking lefties were just so hard on me, dude, and kept calling me a Nazi, kept calling me a white nationalist, kept calling me all these things, when like I was trying to like understand things, and I would just ask a question, truly just asking questions, like unironically, just asking questions, trying to like understand their thought processes and things like that. And they would still immediately jump down my throat and and treat me like this horrible freaking person and mass report me and harass me. And it's a huge deterrence. Like, I'm looking at the left and I'm like, okay, I don't like these people either. I don't want to call myself a liberal or a Democrat if that means I'm one of those people. Fuck them. Like, fuck those people. They're fucking horrible, dude. I don't want to be part of their group. And so I do understand, like, the optics to an extent. It's not a good look. They did that to me even though I never voted Republican. I just didn't agree with everything they said. Yeah, same. I mean, again, I would say that I was a Republican. I never voted Republican, mainly because I was locked up in prison. Like, the first time that I was able to vote was when Barack Obama won, and it was, I think, my second week in jail, when I got locked up for over a year. And when I, like, the second week, we're sitting there in jail watching on television Barack Obama win the election. Why don't you agree with Graham? Who's Graham? Lindsey Graham? Dude, this bugs me so much. Every time I tap the screen on here to try to, like, put hearts on it, it starts popping up with, like, donation things, and then I accidentally click on the donation things over and over. It's so fucking annoying, dude. Like, I don't even know what it is. Ah, it's so annoying. Holy shit. No, I was asking. Oh, you're asking somebody in their named Graham. Okay. I can understand that, but I always voted them and never held any Republican positions. Not surprised it happened to you. If it did to me too. Yeah, well, and I've talked about the fact that this is like a common thing, that not only, it's not just something that I went through, but it's something that I saw tons of other people go through. And I've mentioned tons of other names of content creators who are moving from the left, or from the right to the left, and had just tons of people on the left constantly counter signaling them, making it to where it becomes even harder for this person to move to the left, because even if they're genuinely trying to understand something, they have to always make sure that they're never asking a question in a way that's going to make these people think that they're racist again and come after them again. So they're constantly trying to figure out the best optical way to be good faith about something and understand something without, like, falling into this trap again. And it becomes practically impossible. So it's something that, like, when I first became a content creator, I was initially just doing podcasts, and then I started streaming on Facebook, and I was gaining, like, a pretty good following. I was getting about, like, 1,000 downloads per podcast episode, and even had sometimes about 200 to 300 people watching me on Facebook. And then I put out a video saying why I left the right, and it was a video of me just kind of saying, like, hey, I realized that, like, all of the people on the right just constantly lie to us. Like, I started consistently fact checking all of the right-wing leaders, and they all just constantly fucking lie, and got harshly canceled by my own fucking audience, and decided, okay, I've got nothing left here. But they started mass reporting me over there, and I got 2 strikes pretty quickly. And so then I moved to Twitch and went over there and started jumping on debate panels and talking to people over there. And yeah, dude, they were just the most unwelcoming motherfuckers. Like when a lot of people, I get like as far as entertainment goes, it's a lot of fun to just watch somebody jump down somebody else's throat. But for me, even though sometimes I was arguing with people, sometimes I'm like legitimately arguing with them because I'm trying to like make the best argument possible for my side. But every time I would get like off the calls, I would sit there and like everything that I got owned on, every point that I lost, every time they would have a better comeback, I would just sit there and ruminate on these things and be thinking like, yeah, I guess they're fucking right, dude. Like, and then I would go spend a lot of time looking into things and trying to find other perspectives on it. And I know it feels good a lot of times to just watch somebody jump down another person's throat and scream and yell at them. But when it comes to like actually changing minds or actually getting people to consider or reconsider their positions, that is the thing that will consistently like make people very defensive. And I think I don't think that I'm special in the fact that I was willing to change my positions despite the pushback from the left. I think that I was in a special position where I think the biggest problem is social reinforcement and like tribalism, that like your friends, your family, those people will look at you different if you start to change your politics, and you don't want them to look at you differently, so it's harder for you to actually move anywhere. But because my public life, or my personal life and my public life were very separate at this point, I was able to really kind of like explore and understand things without the fear of like being judged by all of my friends and family for it. And that is just a very rare experience. It's a rare, like, a chance that I had to actually go through this process without that constant pullback factor. So I think in that case, I was really lucky compared to other people, that even though I still had so many people who were such pieces of shit to me the whole time, making what would normally make somebody want to be like, yeah, fuck this. I'm not moving in that direction. Fuck those people. It's where I didn't really have to care. When you were talking to the previous caller about your values staying the same and the Dem policy better matching with it, I wish you would have given a couple examples. Well, I mean, I think I did in the one before that. I'm trying my best not to be like super repetitive, and so in the call before that, I did go over a bunch of things like that, saying like, when it comes to the economy, they are just better, or when it comes to like staying out of war and negotiating, they are just better, or things like that. But I think we ended up going over a bunch of examples anyways, where we're talking about like terrorist attacks and the fact that the Dems just are like condemning the violence across the board, and that the Republicans aren't. Like, I think that I think I made the point there. Let me join. All right, give me just a second. I got to run to the restroom real quick, and then I'll pull you up as soon as I get back. So, just give me just a moment. Yeah, give me just a moment, and I'll pull you up as soon as I get back. Ah, crap. Fuck. All right, give me just a second. Can anybody else? Do you guys ever hear water in your pipes drop? Like you can hear water falling? I wanted to put on music, but that's why I was sitting here going crap, because I normally have like a playlist that I can pull up for music if I need to, and all of my music playlists are just gone. So is it Sly? Slee? Is it Sly or Slee? How do you say your name? Hello? All right. I'm gonna head over to YouTube if you guys want to finish watching the show. We're gonna be on YouTube today, so you can follow me over to youtube.com/TomFooleryShow, and we'll be live for a while longer. So, hey, Joe Romero sent a goat trophy. Appreciate it, good sir. For 1,000 jewels. Hey, you. Let's go. Vertical mode? Yeah. Vertical mode is already up on YouTube, and then I'll add the other version in just a second. We got some good stuff to get into, so don't be a loser and stay on TikTok and keep scrolling and all that crap. Just head on over to let's see. Head on over to youtube.com. Head on over to youtube.com and search up Tom Foolery Show. We'll see you over there. Later, fools. All right. Play the intro video. Dude, I told you guys the other day that I keep getting people who are now complaining about the intro videos. I just got another comment right before I started stream from somebody complaining about it again right here. The intro got me so hyped I forgot to actually watch the rest of the video. Something about a girl named Destiny. In all serious and respectfully, you should shorten, I think he says you should shorten the video or shorten the intro by about 3 minutes. No. I might make it longer though. Spotlight, moonlight, try to look good in the moonlight. Put the intro on an 8-hour loop. I should do that sometime. I should just put the intro on and then loop it over and over and over, and then just like spam fucking commercials the whole time. That'd be a good idea. That viewer can respectfully go self-copulate. I'm telling you, dude, I keep getting these fucking comments. Like, there's a bunch of these over the last week, which I assume means that I'm getting pushed in the algorithm a lot more. it seems as though there's more new people popping up. There's another one. What in the over 7-minute intro was this? TLDR, please. It's a fucking 4-minute intro, dude. Holy crap. Like, a 5-minute intro is not rare for live streams that are like 8 hours long. That's not rare. Even a lot of Destiny streams, like he starts with just a graphic on the screen and then just sits there for like 5 minutes. Just you can hear him typing and crap. Let's see. It's just like a redoing the same notifications over and over. Yeah, it's just, I don't know what the fuck is going on here. It just keeps repeating the same things. It's also weird to me though that people would complain about the intro when you like when all of the people who are complaining about it, they're not complaining about it because they watched it live and they're just sitting there waiting for it to end. These are people who watched the stream after it ended. You can just skip it. You have the ability to just skip the intro. Like, why? I've been seeing it say YouTube feature on the home screen lately. Not sure what it means. We looked it up last night. Apparently it means that I'm getting pushed in the algorithm a lot more. These are all comments on my shorts. Okay. Yeah, it just keeps making me repeat the same fucking thing. So annoying. Alright, never mind. Fuck YouTube.
Good morning, everybody. Palm Beach Pete from sunny Florida. Not a cloud in the sky. I'm off to play some tennis. I'm not Jeffrey Epstein. I'm Palm Beach Pete. I want to thank all my followers. This thing has gone crazy viral. Over 100,000 plus followers in less than 2 days. Have a great day. Enjoy life.
He's not Jeffrey Epstein. He's Palm Beach Pete, guys. Okay. Spotlight, moonlight, try to look good in the moonlight, but it don't be in the boom pipe. Try to do be in the boom pipe. Moonlight, true light, but it don't be in the boom pipe. Something about the vertical stream, I can't get into it. Tuned in now. Yeah, I do vertical streams normally while I'm just streaming on TikTok. Oh, I left the TikTok chat up. Fuck. It's got somebody else on screen now. Let me X out of that. Yeah, while I'm just doing TikTok streams, I'll pull up the vertical and then I will add the regular stream afterwards, but I meant to put a thing on there like directing people over to the TikTok stream, because normally on verticals, like, you're more likely to get people who want to call in and engage, and so normally I'll have something up there that tells people to go, and I forgot to do that this time. So We had a lot of people jump on though. We had a lot of debates, and I've been live on Vertical for only an hour and 15 minutes, but I was live on TikTok for 2.5 hours, so. Is this from TikTok? Garlic Johnson, you willing to send your kids to annex all these places, Warlord? Do I have another thing up, or where the fuck did that come from? That had to come from TikTok, right? Sent thumbs up with 10 jewels. Thank you, Hollis. Hollis the Lib. Let's go. Let's go, boy. Yeah, thank you guys for all the jewels. We had Hollis the Lib with 10 jewels. Joe Romero with 1,000 jewels. Aaron M. Sounds sent a Laughing Disco for 250 jewels. Zach sent a star for 2 jewels. And a chill for 6 jewels. And a 100 for 2 jewels. And Sparkles for 2 jewels. Thank you, Zach, Aaron, and Joe, and Hollis. Appreciate everybody who was donating on TikTok as well. I was looking at y'all. I just wasn't able to respond to it. But I don't know if you guys saw, but Donald Trump is getting in a lot of trouble right now with the Christians. They are not happy with his fucking dumbass. He posted a picture of himself on Truth Social that depicts himself as Jesus. He is
Good morning, everybody. Palm Beach Pete from...
Your reckoning has come. What is this?
He's wearing a white robe with a red shawl over himself, which is regularly how Jesus is depicted, as you can see here, with the white robe and the red shawl. And so this is generally how people showed Jesus, and Donald Trump depicted himself as Jesus. Definitely not a cult. Well, in this case, he got a lot of pushback. Donald Trump got a lot of pushback on this one. His followers were not happy. He deleted the post, so I can't go look at it myself, but here's one right here where it says, these are comments from his own followers on that post. This one says, Mr. President, with all due respect, take this down. You are not Jesus. Even if this wasn't the intention, this is not a good look. I do not support this, and I know many others do not either. Remove it at once. You've probably already done too much damage with this meme. Give all honor, glory, and praise to Jesus, but certainly not this. If it's a staffer, fire them and offer an apology to Christians for this mockery. Sally said, you are mocking Jesus. What Fresh Hell Today said, I deeply regret voting for you. Many people do. Your ego won't let you see it, or are you truly a sociopath? 25th Amendment. Tux Rex said, you are sick. I've never regretted a vote more. Maddie Maddock said, idolatry, pride, and false worship. This is absolutely terrible. Cliff Watts said, you think you're God, but the truth is you're possessed, sacrilegious, and preposterous. And then Classic Girl, North Carolina, said, I voted for this. MAGA is dead. Like this is just a couple of them, dude. They were. I saw somebody scroll through it earlier. They like almost every comment was roasting him. Almost every comment was furious with him posting this. They were not happy. His followers were truly not happy with this. American Exception said literal blasphemy. Bruce said Trump is depicting himself as Jesus, God now. You know, who does that in Revelation? The Antichrist. Dave Penn said, that's going a little too far, Donald Trump. Dean Coleman said, Mr. President, with all due respect, I do not like this post. This was disappointing and unnecessary. Joe88 said, yep, and I'm officially 100% done with you at this point. Mocking our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, is beyond ridiculous at this point and blasphemy. I cannot believe I voted for you 3 times. Patriot1213 said, bad form. Trump isn't a god. That's their name on Truth Social. Trump isn't a god, said, you kill people. You false. I don't know what. I can't read it. It's you false something. Morgan, Jesus is God, said, this is mocking God. Jesus only has the light in his hand, not Trump. Trump needs a lot of prayers, and he needs Jesus. Trump thinks he is king, but he is not. Jesus is king. And then another person said, this is not a good look, Mr. President. Not only have one savior, or sorry, we only have one savior, and his name is Jesus Christ the King. Here's another one from T.C. Kempton. You have to be joking with this. Does this make you feel better about yourself? Do you think anyone considers you to be Christian? You are an adulterer. You are a liar. You are covetous. You are incredibly vain. You have no love or empathy for others. You are a warmonger. You have ordered the murder of Venezuelan citizens who may or may not have been running drugs. No one will ever know because you and your team ordered them and all killed. You are incredibly dishonest in your business dealings. You broke your word to the American people who were, I can't read that, who were something enough to vote for you. Now you compare yourself to our Lord and Savior. You should be ashamed. What a sick, twisted little mind you have. I didn't even bring up the rape and abuse of those poor girls you and your disgusting buddy Jeffrey Epstein committed. Shame on you. Forgotten Country said, false god, blasphemy, antichrist. Shatsy said, this is incredibly disturbing, Don. You are not okay. Lol Baby said, you just lost my support with this post. You are not God, you POS. PCL said, 25th Amendment time. Baltic Truth said, I'd call this idolatry. Leroy J. Brookins said, I am a solid Trump supporter and fan, but Trump is not Christ, and this art is blasphemous. Craig said, you are not Jesus Christ. This is blasphemy. J. Helton, 50, said, the book of Revelation speaks of this. Are you literally depicting yourself as a savior or Messiah? Just asking, as the book of Revelations tells us, the Antichrist will claim he is. Sam Hain said, it's time for this delusional fool to step down from office. I mean, dude, this is, truly, as I said, when I scrolled through this, every single fucking comment was roasting him. Everybody was pissed. And he deleted it. He deleted the post. Like, that is a very rare thing from Trump. Trump almost never deletes a post. And he went and deleted the post. He got so much shit for this that he actually deleted the post. What if he knows he's finished anyway, so he's going hard in the troll? Truly, it's so funny that you said this. I wanted to go make a Truth Social account just to respond to all of these people saying he's trolling you, you're taking the bait. I just wanted to go start replying to everybody. You're getting trolled. You're just getting trolled. Haha, he's so good at trolling you guys. This is the shit that they say to us every time we get mad at something he says. Send that MFK. Sent a clock for 80 joules. Hey, you. Appreciate it. Send the MFK. Shout A. Yeah, it's 5D chess. Yes, truly, I wanted to go and just reply to all these people with all that shit until I heard he deleted it, but I so badly I just want to use this against them and the way that they do this shit. Just, yep, he got you guys. He got you guys. You guys are so mad about this, aren't you? He got you. He was just fucking with you. He's so good at this. He knows how to make you guys mad. He knows what makes you guys tick. P Sizzle said, "This is so completely wrong." Just a Patriot said, "Mocking Jesus now. Can't believe I voted for this traitor." Philosophical said, "Disgusting. Sad. We elected the Antichrist." Like, and Trump is denying this now. He's acting as though he didn't mean for it to look like that.
Here's some paper to WTF for Jules.
Here's some paper. WTF are Jules. The Jules are, they're kind of like TikTok donos. But they're for the vertical chat, so they're able to send different types of like currency, similar to like sending money on TikTok. It's something that converts into some sort of currency, but it doesn't seem to be consistent. So you can't even go and like look up like how many dollars is 1,000 joules. Like it's not consistent. Like you have no idea like how to look at this shit and figure out like what it is in reality. So I have no idea, but it's most of them are like cents on the dollar, I believe. I think like generally 1,000 is about $1. Joe sent sparkles for 2 joules. Thank you, Joe Blow. I love the Dr. Poco from Trump. Yeah. So Trump came out here trying to pretend like this wasn't the case. That and he acts as though this is just a conspiracy from the media, guys. From the media. We just showed you all those comments. He's gonna sit here and pretend like this is the media that's doing this. Okay.
Did you post that picture of yourself depicted as Jesus Christ?
Well, it wasn't depicted. It was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as the doctor, and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support. And only the fake news could come up with that one. So I just heard about it.
Only the fake news could come up with that, dude. The fake news thinks he's depicting himself as Jesus Christ. Come on. Aryan sent a laughing disco for 250 joules. He sent 2 laughing discos for 250 each. Thank you, sir. Do these joules thingies help the YouTube algo? I believe so, yes. Yeah, it's one of the things that is a bit of a struggle with YouTube is that they do use like donations, like super chats, stickers, all of that stuff is beneficial for pushing you in the algorithm, but it takes 1/3 of it out. So now that I have to get everybody to donate through tips instead on Stream Elements, it makes it to where like I make more money from that, but I lose all of the boosts that the donos would give me in in the algo. So it's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. We had last night, Dear Rito sent $10 right at the end of stream to get me to stay on, but I was already getting off at that point. So I told him I would keep his $10 on for today. So we are already at $12 for today. So if you guys want to donate, please use the tips link in the description. With YouTube super chats, I only ever count a third of what it is that you donate, or sorry, 2/3 of what it is that you donate towards the goal. Whereas if you use tips, I count 100% of it. But yeah, he said the media made this up.
There's a Red Cross worker there, which we support, and only the fake news could come up with that one. So I just heard about it, and I said, how did they come up with that? It's supposed to be me as a doctor making people better, and I do make people better. I make people a lot better. As an example, the 11,000, I understand your husband's going through treatment.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's
He
going
has
through
cancer.
some very serious cancer treatment, so
Yes, sir.
this goes a long way.
Yes, sir. It sure does. Did you post that picture of yourself depicted as Jesus Christ?
Well, it wasn't depicted. It was.
Yeah, it wasn't Jesus Christ, guys. That's not what it was. He wasn't trying to look like Jesus Christ. But this is the image. Obviously that's not a doctor. Pretty blatantly, that's not a doctor, okay? He's not in a white coat with a stethoscope on or anything like that. Like, this lady down here, yeah, she looks like a nurse. Like, that's what a nurse looks like, sure. But this is not what a doctor ever wears. This is not a doctor by any means. Doctors don't have shining lights coming out of their hands. They don't have angels flying behind them. Jesus again is always depicted in a white robe with a red shawl over him. That's what he's wearing. He's wearing a red shawl with a white robe on it. There's a reason he deleted the post. But this is an old meme. It's been around for a while. So this isn't something that Donald Trump came up with himself. It isn't something that he had his team create, or they didn't put this into the AI engine or anything. This is something that like MAGA has posted around for a while. But when he posted it, yes, people got very upset about it. And so this is no bueno for him. This one does look a little demonic, though. I don't know. I can't tell if it's like a Statue of Liberty angel. And this person right here looks like they're from Ark Raiders. I don't know what the fuck that is. They don't even have wings. Yeah, this looks like a demonic angel, dude. This one looks a little crazy. Yeah, this is the image that it seems to be using. Is of Jesus healing the sick. Looks like it used this exact image. And then there you go. There's Jesus in the white robe with the red shawl on them. Looks like he's healing Hunter Biden. Everybody with a beard is Hunter Biden. Okay. But yeah, there is a a nurse there, so I guess that's why he thought he could pull the doctor card. It's because there's a nurse with a stethoscope on. So, but so far, when we were going over this on TikTok, we did have one person in the chat who was like, "No, he explained that," but as soon as I showed the images, they immediately stopped talking. So we'll see if MAGA wants the. It's Epstein. Oh yeah, he's healing Epstein. True. Yeah, we'll see if MAGA ends up trying to defend this, but so far it looks like they're pretty much against this one. Let's see what we have here. Not so worried. I said, bro can't even Giga Chad his way through this one. Just has to lie. Vince Wilson, friend of the show as well. Him and Not So Weird, friends of the show, said Red Cross worker. Ha ha ha. This person said fixed it. They put Israel and the Nazi flag behind him, and then they actually have him now in a doctor's white coat. William said, wow, didn't see this one coming with audio.
But many more will doubtless be mollified by whatever codswallop the man comes out with next, by way of trying to excuse or ameliorate what he did in choosing to post what he did. He'll probably come out and say something. Oh, it wasn't Jesus. I was just being a healer. I want a healer.
I guess this guy just posted a video, like a audio of himself talking about it. You can tell he's got a fish tank in the background.
That's all I'm trying to do. Our country is very sick. I'm trying to heal it. He'll come out and say something like that. And they'll believe it. They're eager to believe it. But many more will doubtless.
Yep, there you go. Do you guys remember the show ER? You guys remember that? This is how they dressed. It's a normal way for them all to dress. And in ER, the white robes with the red shawls on top. That's a good one. Sure, doctors wear robes. Red Cross worker. True. Yeah. They've got an image of a Halloween costume with what it was that Trump was wearing with the white robe and the red shawl on it. City of Coventry Health Century. Nice. LMAO, I thought it was me as a doctor. Has to be put in the top 5 most ridiculous lies he's ever told. The Red Cross is famously known for its robes and magic. How disingenuous. Yup. Yup. Fake news strikes again. They twist everything President Trump does into some kind of controversy. He literally said it was about supporting the Red Cross and helping people, but the media runs with Trump thinks he's Jesus. Give me a break. This is why nobody trusts them anymore. They are more focused on the smears than the truth. Meanwhile, Trump is out here actually supporting workers and doing something positive. Damn, nobody posted the comments? Oh, wait. Okay, never mind. I was about to say, wait, are we replying to the comments? Bro, in this one it literally is Jeffrey Epstein. They this one it's literally Jeffrey Epstein in the picture. That's funny. You fucking posted this. No Red Cross, no doctor. You posted yourself as Jesus doing a healing. This wasn't fake news. This is you trying to lie your way out of it. Bro, the amount of people on Christmas that are going to be wearing a Jesus costume and then saying they're a doctor is... It's going to be a lot of people. Did you see Sneeko react to this? I think I just had it up. I guess I X'd out of it. I just had it up a minute ago. I did. I just freaking X'd out of it. Fuck. Yep. I X'd out of it.
Okay, so the Trump family's crypto project is having probably the...
Oh, I actually had a couple of videos on this. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but the Liberty Financial group that Donald Trump has for crypto coins, they like I was honestly I was this close to, like, I think it was just 2 days ago I was getting ready to say, dude, everybody said that this was a rug pull. I think the rug would have been pulled by now if this was a rug pull. Like it doesn't seem as though that was the game plan, so I don't know. I don't know when they think it's going to come, but they all said it was going to be within a month, and now here we are over a year later, and it hasn't happened, so yeah, it seems as though it has happened now.
Okay, so the Trump family's crypto project is having probably the worst week ever, and there's always drama centered around this family and crypto and their projects that they launch, but this week it's bad, and the drama is insane. So I'm going to break it down for everybody very simply. First, we're going to get into who is involved. The Trump family launched a crypto project in 2024 called World Liberty Financial. And think of it like a company, but instead of stocks, they sell digital coins called tokens. Trump business entity owns 60% of it and gets 75% of all the money from these coin sales. By late 2025, the Trump family had made $1 billion from the whole thing. We're gonna meet Justin Sun, Chinese-born crypto billionaire with a B, worth around $9 billion, and he is one of the most controversial figures in the crypto industry. He was one of the very first big investors in World Liberty Financial, putting in tens of millions of dollars. And these two were best friends until this week. So here is how it started. Imagine you own a company and then your company creates its own fake money. Let's call it Trump coins. Then you take these Trump coins to a bank and say, I want to borrow real money using these Trump coins as collateral. Oh, and also the bank is run by your own employees. That's basically what World Liberty Financial did. They used 5 billion of their own tokens to borrow 75 million in real money from a lending platform whose co-founder is also their chief technology officer. People immediately started comparing it to that whole FTX situation. You remember FTX with Sam Bankman-Fried, this guy. That was the biggest crypto fraud scandal in history. Yesterday, Justin Sun, remember him, we just spoke about him, the billionaire backer, posted something that honestly broke the whole internet because he said World Liberty Financial secretly built a hidden switch inside of the system. Huge claim, by the way. In plain English, that means they gave themselves the power to freeze, restrict, and effectively confiscate anyone's investment without a warning, without reason, and with no way to fight back. And he said he knows this because it happened to him. His wallet was secretly frozen. His losses on that frozen investment are over $80 million. He called the project, and this is a direct quote, a trap masquerading as a door. So what did World Liberty Financial say back? Well, they posted, "See you in court" on X, formerly known as Twitter, publicly to their own investor, the guy who helped them save their own project when it was actually failing. Sun then fired back saying whoever is hiding behind that account needs to come forward and show face and identify themselves by name. This is happening today, literally April 13th, right now. Here's the part that makes it like way bigger than just crypto drama. Shortly after Trump took office, Justin Sun invested 30 million into World Liberty Financial, and an SEC investigation into Sun was dropped. A UAE royal family linked firm quietly bought 49% of World Liberty Financial for 500 million just before Trump's inauguration, a deal that wasn't publicly disclosed at the time. The token is now down 82% from its highest. 700 million in the market value has been completely wiped out. The story's definitely not over, and yeah, it's not even close. I will see you later for more.
Yep, they got a lot. They got a lot going on right now with this coin. It seems as though they've moved like all of the money out to where people aren't able to access it now.
Well, Trump's crypto project just used its own made-up token to drain $150 million from investors, and the company claims it's by design. Here's what happened. World Liberty Fi, the Trump family's crypto project, pledged $5 billion of its own token on a lending platform called Dolomite, borrowed $150 million in stablecoins against it, and sent over $40 million straight to Coinbase Prime, which is basically a fiat off-ramp. The pool is now 93% drained, making it nearly impossible for regular depositors to withdraw their money. To make matters
According to these people, she literally showed tons of sources on the screen while she was telling the story. It was popping up with sources the whole time.
worse, Dolomite is not some random platform. It's co-founded by a literal advisor to World Liberty Fi, and their depositors getting locked out, mostly everyday users who lent real dollars expecting to earn yield and leave whenever they want. Here's how this works. People deposit US-backed stablecoins to earn yield. Borrowers come in, pledge crypto as collateral, and pay interest on the loans. In this case, World Liberty Fi was the borrower, and its collateral was its own token. A token that's now down 75% from launch with almost no liquidity. So imagine you lent $1,000 to earn 6% per year. Then you get a tax bill and you need that money back. Well, you can't get it because the Trump family literally drained the entire pool using their made-up token. This project is currently calling the criticism FUD, but when the borrower, the collateral, and the platform advisor are all the same entity and real people's money is locked out, that's not FUD. That's a presidential scale extraction scheme.
So this is from Fortune. See, Trump-backed World Liberty Financial tokens hit all-time low on reports of insider loans. WLFI, the native token of Donald Trump-backed crypto platform World Liberty Financial, cratered to an all-time low on Friday as investors digested news reports that the company had lent out tokens on a platform tied to one of its executives. As of midday, WLFI was trading at 8 cents, a roughly 82% drop from its all-time high last September when it traded at 46 cents. The drop coincides with news that Corey Kaplan, CTO of World Liberty Financial, which was founded in 2024 by a team including multiple members of the Trump family, used the project's reserves of WLFI tokens to make loans on a third-party crypto platform he co-founded. Blockchain data shows wallets controlled by World Liberty Financial lent WLFI tokens worth hundreds of millions of dollars to a decentralized platform named Dolomite, borrowing a mixture of stablecoins in return. Dolomite is just the 13th largest crypto lending platform, according to DeFi Llama, I think is what it said, DeFi Llama data, making it perhaps an unlikely place for World Liberty Financial to lend its tokens. It sounds like they're trying to do what it is that banks do, where people have a bunch of money in the bank and then the banks start to try to make money off the money that's in their banks in order to gain revenue off of the money that they're holding on to. And so it sounds like they're trying to take it and put it somewhere else so that it can gain interest, and then they can put it back. This is WLFI price tumbled nearly 15%. The size of World Liberty Financial's loans on Dolomite pose a risk to the token's price. Nicholas Vayman, CEO at crypto analytics firm Bubble Maps, told Fortune roughly 5% of WLFI's supply is now collateral on Dolomite. So if WLFI declines significantly in value, the collateral could be liquidated, Vayman said. This would likely force World Liberty to sell WLFI tokens to repay the loan, exerting additional downward pressure on the token price. World Liberty Financial acknowledged its lending activities in a post to its X account, but tried to quell investors' worries, asserting that its loan positions are nowhere near liquidation. World Liberty called itself the anchor borrower for WLFI, arguing that it is generating the yield that makes WLFI markets compelling for everyone else. It's likely not illegal. The problem is that when it comes to stuff like this, most things aren't illegal. That's like the whole problem, is that it's just a very poorly regulated area. And it's very easy to rip people off and steal because there's just not much regulation on it in the first place. So what is pretty much blatantly stealing in most cases is just absolutely nothing in the eyes of the law the majority of the time. Hedge funds and foundations exposed to WLFI. Multiple crypto foundations may have purchased WLFI tokens following token swap agreements cut by World Liberty Financial. NASDAQ listed Alt5 Sigma also raised $1.5 billion to purchase WLFI tokens last summer, drawing investment from institutional buyers including Point72 and Exodus Point. Some investor worries also stem from the amount of World Liberty Financial's USDI stablecoin that the team borrowed against its WLFI. World Liberty Financial borrowed so much USDI, or is it USD1? USD1 from Dolomite that there is little left to borrow, meaning users who previously deposited the stablecoin on Dolomite may have trouble withdrawing, Vayman said. I mean, that's what it sounds like. I mean, when they say that they're not near liquidity, it sounds like, yeah, they just don't have, it sounds like they just don't even have the funds. That like if people all went and tried to pull their coin out, they would have to like stop large investors from pulling right now. Which I think is what they were talking about with the other guy, where that initial investor, the Asian guy that they apparently dropped his charges after he invested, that he was saying that there is a kind of a safety net in the agreement that makes it to where they can freeze your account so that you can't withdraw. Still, World Liberty Financial projected confidence on social media Thursday. Even if markets moved dramatically against us, we'd simply supply more collateral, World Liberty Financial wrote. That's not a risk. That's how this works. But you dropped in value. Like pulling out that much of the fucking coin. And then now dropping drastically in value makes it to where anybody who was planning on selling right now and actually gaining any sort of liquidity from this, they just lost all of that until you actually get some gains to put back in, if that's what you're saying the plan is. But they also, World Liberty Financial also said that they're only using their own money in WLFI, which means that they're saying they're not using other people's funds, but that doesn't sound like that's even possible. Although this says only about 5% of WLFI's supply is on Dolomite. So if WLFI declines significantly in value, the collateral could be liquidated. So World Liberty Financial would have to sell tokens to repay the loan, exerting additional downward pressure on the token price. Trump's World Liberty Financial borrowed millions from a protocol its own advisor co-founded. Yeah, apparently all of the like initial founders of WLFI, they took all of their pictures off of the website and just left Trump and his team. Like right when all of this happened, they took off all of the other founders and just left Trump and his team on the front page. So it looks like there might be a very specific group of people pushing this right now. I'm just waiting for them to release the locked WLFI. I'll get it out immediately. I'll admit I don't know anything about the crypto market. However, if even 50% of above clip is accurate and true, this is yet another monumental grift executed by Donnie Two Spoons and the rest of the grifters known as the Trumps. I mean, it doesn't sound like it's actually around 50%, but I don't understand crypto at all. Reminder, if you invested $13,000 in Melania Trump's crypto scheme just 2 months ago, your balance is now $570. Congratulations, you've been scammed by the first family. Pump and dump lawsuit. In October 2025, a federal class action lawsuit in New York was amended to include Melania coin as part of a massive fraud scheme. The allegation, executives at Meteora, a crypto exchange, and Kelsier Ventures allegedly used a 6-step playbook to manipulate the market. Oh, so they did do a pump and dump. I didn't know that they did. I didn't know they ended up doing this. Insider trading. The suit claims insiders secretly amassing nearly 1/3 of the total supply before public trading began. Melania's role. The lawsuit describes Melania Trump as window dressing, alleging she was an unwitting endorser used to give the project legitimacy. She is not named as a defendant. Financial impact. After reaching a market cap of over $2 billion shortly after launch, the coin's value plummeted by over 99% by late 2025, according to Wired and 8 others. Fake official websites, wallet drainers. Cybersecurity researchers flagged a secondary scam involving bogus websites impersonating the official platform. Yeah, there were, when we looked this up, when they first came out with Trump coin and Melania coin, there were tons of Trump coins and Melania coins at that point. There were tons of them. They were all over the place. Like, everybody was naming their coins Trump coin and Melania coin, and tons of people were getting fooled into buying these things because they had no idea that which one was the real one. When users connected their wallets to claim or buy coins, a hidden crypto drainer siphoned all assets from their wallets. Key red flags identified. Damn. So did the Trump coin do the same? Shortly before its 2025 inauguration, entities tied to the Donald Trump launched the Trump coin meme coin. While not a scam in the legal sense, as the SEC under the Trump administration determined in February 2025, the meme coins are not regulated securities. It has been widely criticized by ethics experts and political opponents as a pump and dump scheme and a vessel for corruption. The coin launched at approximately 18 cents, surged to a peak of $75. Whoa. and subsequently plummeted as of early 2026. It is trading around $2.80, a decline over 95% from its high. Trump-related entities, CIC Digital LLC and Fight LLC. What the fuck? Fight LLC. These people are too fucking cringe, dude. They're too cringe. They're fucking cartoon characters. They're too cringe to exist like this. You cannot live like this, people. You cannot live like this. You need to wake up and stop. Stop. Fight LLC reportedly control 80% of the total supply, 1 billion coins. Critics argue this allows for a pay-to-play system where investors, including foreign nationals, can gain access to the president by buying large amounts of the coin to win contests like VIP dinners. A foreign analysis in 2025 estimates that over 810,000 wallets lost money on the coin, while Trump affiliates made roughly $100 million in transaction fees alone. Yeah, I thought, I remember when everybody was saying that it was a pump and dump scheme, and then I found out that they had made like, I thought I heard that they had already made $1 billion off of transaction fees. I thought, oh, okay, so then it's probably not a pump and dump scheme. They're literally just making money off of the transaction fees alone, so they don't give a fuck about the actual coin. They just want people to keep making transactions. Actual fraudulent schemes, separate from the official token, multiple outright scams have exploited the Trump name. Okay, yeah. So impersonated scams. The FBI recovered funds from schemes where scammers impersonated the Trump-Vance inaugural committee to steal cryptocurrency. Phishing campaigns have used fake Trump coin websites to lure users into downloading ConnectWise RIT, a remote access Trojan designed to steal saved passwords. I think something similar to this happened to Rob Noor the other day. I got a DM from Rob Noor just the other day saying that, asking me to click a link to go vote for him on a contest, and I got 2 of these. One of them was like initially just a DM to me, and then the other one, he created a group chat with tons of other people in it, and then said, hey, will you guys go to this website and vote for me? And then yesterday, I pulled up YouTube and saw he had a live stream up that was titled Crazy New Developments in My Hacked X Case.
Show. Long. I'm going to be streaming. There's not going to be a lot of politics discussion. This is going to be personal drama, baby. The whole stream. Buckle up. Are you prepared to learn about crypto? The dark world of hacking? Boomers clicking links they shouldn't? Buckle up, baby. This is the show for you. I have a story to tell. It's one that's been weighing heavy on my heart. And I hope you all appreciate it. As we have updates so shocking in my X account being hacked, I don't even think you'll believe me. I think you're going to be like, bullshit. This can't be true. And maybe I'll never be able to prove it to you. But I hope by the end of this week, in fact, by Wednesday evening, I hope to bring you resolution. It's going to be crazy. This story's crazy. It's crazy. But before we start, did I ever tell you about the blockchain, trucks, crypto? Just check it out.
Of course, dude. Normal America Crypto Awesome Deal Show. What the fuck? I thought he was about to start talking about, like, you know, hey, I'm upset with the Trump administration and their crypto scams. But instead, he's like, hey, guys, got my own crypto scam. with the Arabian music playing in the background.
On my plate, on my little phone, I buy a stage.
Is he playing that? Sounds like he's playing that Iranian Lego music.
Plus every blessed we have one small body shower.
Now, there is a caveat to this. There's a lot of caveats. But I think I've got my account back. It's a big, long story that I'm here to tell you this fine evening. And we're going to monetize it, baby. So don't forget to get your super chats in. Trying to get to our goal of $357. Raid later. All right, Daniel. How did I do it? How did I maybe get my X account back? Maybe. What a saga. Now, I am comfortable in saying the process that I've taken to get this account back in totality is perhaps one that has never in the history of the world been done. I may have developed a new method in dealing with hackers that has never been tried before. And I don't know that it's successful yet. I don't know. I've rolled the dice. I took the dice and I rolled them. And I'm here to tell you all about it. But I'm greedy. I demand money, like that guy I debated the other day. I'm greedy and I'm demanding money. Did I hack the hackers? Maybe. Did I convert him? Stuff. I'll give you that clue. So let's start with who the real villain in this story is. Is it Coach Mim? Is it Coach Mim's Nigerian associates? No. It's X. There's a lot of blame to be passed around. Number one, me, because I apparently did click on a phishing link. Ooh. So, I think there's also blame to go to the hacker. I hope everyone could join me with that. I feel some blame should be placed on the individual who hacked me. But also, I have to take some blame. I clicked the link. I'm not that old. Tyler, the real utility in my X account isn't me using it. It's not me reposting things or me putting my own messages up. It's that I think I've liked a good politically diverse group of people, so I see a broad range of stories that helps me when it comes to sort of deciding what to talk about on a nightly basis. So just starting a new X account, as I did this week, sucks, man. You're getting a bunch of irrelevant shit, and you know. But there's a lot of problems on X. Like, most of the big accounts that are, like, monetized are absolute dog shit. They're just curating smaller streamers and stealing their work, or they're putting clickbaity or vague posts that don't mean shit.
All right, he's never going to get to the point. I give up. I'll try.
Good evening. I'm out here looking for Bigfoot. People say this is where he is, yet he's nowhere to be found. Shocker. He's okay posing for photographs taken by stone photographers once every 50 years, but when somebody actually wants to sit down and talk, the mighty Sasquatch is an invisible coward. I found a set of his footprints leading to a campsite. It was a campsite for Boy Scouts. There was a hole in one of their tents. Sounds to me like Mr. Foot is featured in more.
I heard that Rob ended up sending them feet pics. The whole reason that they tried to steal his account in the first place is they just wanted him to send them feet pics, and so he sent them feet pics, and they said that they're verifying that those are his feet. So they just have to make sure that the pics that he sent them actually match other pictures of his feet that they found in the past. And so once they verify that those are indeed his feet pics, Then they'll give him his account back.
More than just the X files. Good evening, I'm out here looking for Bigfoot. People say this is where he is, yet he's nowhere to be found. Shocker. He's okay posing for photographs, taking...
Shocker.
You know, this is the end of MAGA. MAGA is dead. It had me feeling a little bit like Charlie Kirk. I was like, like Erica Kirk. You know, MAGA is dead. It's over. Not to be morbid. What are the merch sales? Where are the merch sales? We need merch. MAGA is dead. It's over. We do have some great merch right now. That's up on the website. I'll show you guys some of that. And of course, the nut jobs and troublemakers. We are third-rate podcasters. We are happy. But this is my new favorite. We dropped this. This is the new. It actually says MACA because I feel like that's the direction.
Holy shit, dude. It's MACA? That's not what that says. They put a cross on the G. So it's supposed to be Make America Christian Again. And she said it's MACA. But first off, this comes down here at the edge. So like it goes in like a G here. So it still looks like a G, but it comes down at the bottom like a G does. A C doesn't do that. But even more so, it literally says here, MAGA hat. MAGA hat. What the fuck is she talking about? That says MAGA. What the fuck is she talking about, dude?
Podcasters, we are happy. But this is my new favorite. We dropped this. This is the new. It actually says MACA because I feel like that's the direction. If you want to go back up to the green hat, that is the direction that we are heading into. Like it is, we need to make America Christian again. That is the vibe.
That's not a C. It literally says right there, MAGA hat.
What I sense rising is that there is a, just the Christian spirit of people that are just realizing they want nothing to do with the death cults. We are the four horsemen of MAGA.
The four horseman. The four horseman. HOURSEMAN. I guess it's her, Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, and Alex Jones on horses, but they misspelt horses and spelt it HOURSEMAN.
That should be, they have, make sure they fix that, by the way. That should say the four horsemen with an E, not horseman. We'll make sure that's fixed if you guys order that today. And sorry, we obviously got this up pretty quickly, but yeah, we have a whole bunch of new merch that is available on the website. Anyway, you guys, we will be right back.
She promises her fans she will fix that mistake before quickly cutting to a commercial break. Yeah. I mean, words have never been her strong suit. That's never been an area. She might be dyslexic, dude. I don't know what's up with her, dude. She has never been one.
Okay, Candace, let's do a take and just be mindful of the pronunciations. Let's not do anything weird.
I have so many explosive revelations to share with you.
Oh, wait. No, it's revelations. You know what? We can move on.
You got it. If you can't compartmentalize.
No, sweetheart, it's compartmentalized. Just take that one more time.
You have to be able to compartmentalize that.
Compartmentalize.
And we have to compartmentalize. Compartmentalize how you feel about somebody personally.
Are you doing this on purpose? Is this a bit? Are you trying to get clicks or something?
Can't compartmentalize, but really It was about the architecture.
Oh, this is the big one. It's architecture.
He just liked the architecture.
Architecture, not architecture.
Loved the architecture.
Architecture.
Yeah, no, like he loved the architecture of things.
You really don't know how these words are pronounced? You speak for a living.
Prince Harry abdicates England, causes this whole race kerfluffle.
Oh no, it's kerfuffle.
We knew a kerfluffle happened.
Kerfuffle.
Because this dress kerfluffle.
Pronounced kerfuffle. Kerfuffle.
Designed quite literally with the intention to mock me and Tucker Carlson. It's always got to be Tucker Carlson, Cameron Owens.
It's Candace Owens. It's Candace.
Oh no, she doesn't even know her own fucking name. Camera Owens. Oh man. Camrus Owens, dude.
Designed quite literally with the intention to mock me and Tucker Carlson. It's always got to be Tucker Carlson, Cameron Owens.
It's Candace Owens. It's Candace. Let's cut here. I'm gonna go take my life.
Camera Owens. I looked up to see if she has dyslexia, and apparently there's no announcement of this, but like this guy has posted like 20 videos like this. Like unironically, he has like 20 videos of him showing her mispronouncing all these fucking words, dude. It's so weird. It's so fucking weird. Speaking of Megyn Kelly, a lot of people are going after her right now because when she was on NBC, she had a talk show for a little while. And one of the episodes that she did got her a lot of blowback, but she had a bunch of like teens or kids who transitioned, who were trans, and they transitioned. And currently now, one of the things that she brings up a lot, that she like rages about a lot, is trans people in sports, trans people in bathrooms. And she says, you know, oh, I mean, I might regret my vote for Trump, but that doesn't mean I'm ever going to vote for these people who are putting men in our sports. And so all of these people are now going back and pulling up clips of her with trans people on her show as though this is like a contradiction.
People with me on stage right now are all transgender kids who want others to know it is possible to transition socially with love and support and acceptance within a family and a community.
We hope to communicate by sharing our story with you and with folks is that this is real and it's cool.
A perfect example of the beauty that happens when a child is loved and fully embraced for who they are.
Thank you all for sharing your stories. It's an honor to know you.
It is beyond time to stand up to the trans lobby that means to deprive women of their spaces and rights.
But I am fascinated by the protection of women and understanding what we're getting in the Oval Office. Another woman who has alleged groping, unwanted groping, by Donald Trump is with us back now with 3 of the 16-plus women who have accused President Trump of sexual misconduct. Trump is on record as saying he did this. And you are all familiar by this point with the Access Hollywood tape. I thank you so much for coming on and telling your stories.
Thank you for having us.
This one is contradictory.
I don't give a shit about Trump getting handsy with somebody 20 years ago.
That was the only reason.
I have this like
Contractual.
crush from afar on Mark Levin. I've always loved him.
the best.
I agree with Sean that he's the great one, but I secretly from afar am like a Mark Levin stalker.
It's truly an honor. It's like there are certain people, and it's a very small list, who I consider appointment viewing. And it's like, whenever I see you, I stop. Whenever I see Mark Levin clip, I stop. Whenever Mark Levin has a book, I read.
Yeah, this one's
It's just,
bad.
there is such a small collection of people who are truly brilliant and honest. So I want all of our listeners, I'm sure they already know that, but pay attention. You're going to learn something. I mean, this is like a 70-year-old man. He's in his like mid to late 60s or 70. Senior citizen with the show on Fox News on the weekend. He never made it in prime time. You spend 5 minutes watching his show, you'll see why. He was not primetime material. We used to laugh at him behind the scenes at Fox. She's supposedly 9 months pregnant in the hospital room.
Yeah, she has been going hard on Mark Levin and acting like nobody ever liked this guy. He's a joke. Like everybody knows he's a joke. He's always treated as a joke, but she has always treated him like a fucking god. So that one definitely is very, very bad.
Very bad look for her, dude.
Behind the scenes at Fox. She's supposedly 9 months pregnant in the hospital room. Here's the problem. We don't like you, Meghan Markle, and no amount of posting videos that you think are going to humanize you will make us like you.
Candace is a young mom of like 3 young kids. It's my prerogative if I say to myself, that is not someone I wish to attack.
So truly, you do get in trouble if you are a white person who puts on blackface for Halloween, or a black person who puts on whiteface for Halloween. Like, back when I was a kid, that was okay.
They both have actually worn blackface repeatedly in Jimmy Kimmel's case, and the worst kind of possible blackface you can imagine in Sarah Silverman's case, minstrel show blackface. Look at this. This is so offensive what she's wearing. Anyone could see how deeply wrong this is. Iran is an enemy of the United States. Iran has been the #1 sponsor, state sponsor of terror against the United States for the past 46 years. Iran is not just theoretically chanting death to America, as some absolute fools have been suggesting over the past few days. They have actually been causing death to Americans for decades now. I love Tim Dillon, and here he is saying it like no one can on where our heads are at.
I don't give a fuck about Iran.
Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush have all said that Iran cannot get a nuclear weapon. They can't. It's just this president, forgive me, but he had the balls to actually do something about it. Who made him do this? And the answer is Benjamin Netanyahu and the man in the mirror for President Trump. His own hubris. I mean, honestly, like the president, 3D chess, shut up. Fucking shut up about that shit. You don't threaten to wipe out an entire civilization. We're talking about civilians. Just casually, I mean, honestly, Trump could drop a nuke and I'd still vote Republican.
Yeah. Yeah. She's pretty bad. The first one isn't a contradiction. The first one where she says like she supports trans people transitioning and that it can benefit them in their mental health, but she doesn't support them being in sports or in bathrooms. Like those are separate things. Those are objectively separate things. And so it is like really annoying to me that conservatives like call it all transgenderism, where it's like a whole ideology, but it is like at least good that she is able to separate her thoughts in those areas and compartmentalize all of that. So but yeah, that so like wrong, fine, but it's not a contradiction by any means.
Donald Trump, who, when a reporter asked him at a presidential debate in 2015 about some of the language he used, responded by saying, "What I say is what I say. And if you don't like it, too bad." That was more than just a quick comeback. That was a reminder of what America is. In America, we have the right of free speech. We have the right to offend, to provoke, to annoy, and to stand up for what we believe in, even if you find it controversial. We are reminded of that daily by President Trump, who would never bow to the woke mob. Now, as you can imagine, that post did not go over well with the Iranians or with many Americans. I mean, I don't know about you, but I am sick of this shit. I'm sick of it. Can't he just behave like a normal human? I mean, honestly, like the president, 3D chess, shut up. Fucking shut up about that shit. But he's going to need all of you.
Bro, I mean, this is like, I'm sorry, but this is who all of them are. This is what all of them do. They all flip-flop on their positions nonstop. Just the other day, we watched Tim Pool acting like there's nothing wrong with the Iranian war and that there's no issues there and that everybody's just being stupid about it and making a big deal about nothing. It's the mainstream media and it's the liberals who are all just whining and crying about everything. But then, literally like the next fucking episode, he's over there acting like, dude, I've been against this from the beginning. Like I've been critical of Trump about this from the beginning and I'm not okay with this anymore. Like he goes where the fucking wind blows, dude. All of them do. They all change their positions based on what it is that's popular in the moment. That's it. That's all it is. They all have no principles, no consistency, and even like the Mark Levin thing. This is something that Donald Trump does as well. There's a bunch of clips of him
talking about what a great person Megyn Kelly is, what a great person Alex Jones is, how much he loves these people, how they're some of the greatest people around, they're some of the best reporters, the best journalists, and then now he's walking around talking about, oh, they have low ratings and nobody watches them because they're horrible and nobody even likes them, and they've been failures for a long time, and it's just, this is what they all do. They all just flip on their positions based on what it is that's convenient in the moment for them. There are no principled positions in MAGA. There's just what's convenient, what's beneficial in the moment. That's it. Yeah, crap, I thought I had. I thought I had a compilation of this, but maybe not. So I the other day I showed you guys a video and I told you guys that I tried challenging this chick to a debate. This girl right here.
I watched the entire 6-hour debate between Rachel Wilson and Brianna Sixto.
So you didn't have to.
And there are a few key moments of the debate.
I quote tweeted her and said, debate me, this is absolutely horrible analysis. I thought it was parody at first, but then saw your other posts. It's the easiest crap to dismantle. So I said debate me, like right at the top, said debate me on this, right? She replied to this and said, in good faith, I'll engage. Which part of the analysis would you like to easily dismantle? Pick the weakest point and show me where the reasoning fails. So I was like, okay, maybe she wants me to just like give an argument so that she knows what's going on. So I said, I mean, I'd say they are all pretty equally bad. But the last one, if I had to pick one, your argument is illogical. So this is the argument that she gives, okay?
And she was never able to explain that.
2,000 years later.
Somebody that supported women's suffrage, so women voting, was a literal witch, a Satanist, a Marxist, or whatever. I don't care.
Brianna also deep.
So the argument from Rachel Wilson, she has a book on this that she wrote that is just absolute bullshit. But the whole idea is that the origins of feminism, the original people who were in feminism, I think I told Tom not to type an argument. Just ask her on the show. That's what I said. I was like, I'm assuming maybe she just like, it's possible she's either confused and thinks I want to debate her on Twitter, or she's like trying to see like what my arguments are so she can decide if she wants to come debate it. So if she says pick one, okay, I'll give an argument, like a real quick, simple argument for one, and then end it with like, but you know, I want to debate you on this, so send me a DM or something like that. So that's what I did. But anyways, the Rachel Wilson's argument on this is that the origins of feminism is from Satanism. It's from people who want to destroy their goal of feminism is to destroy the family unit, that it's all about like man hatred, and like this is, you know, her whole book is just like her book is called The Occult Feminism. And so that's what this woman is like the debater here is responding to.
Was a literal witch, a Satanist, a Marxist.
She's saying, I don't care. Like, why the fuck would I care if the original people were Satanists or Marxists or whatever? Like, who gives a fuck? Like, the current movement is not that. So that's it. That's all that matters. Like, in the end, that's all that we need to know.
this or whatever. I don't care.
Driana also deeply missed the mark on this point, because if the architects of a movement explicitly said they wanted to destroy the family, and the movement subsequently destroys the family, the origins are not irrelevant. If someone sold you medicine and you later discovered the manufacturer knew it was harmful and decided to create dependency, you wouldn't say, it doesn't matter what the manufacturer intended, the pill is
She said they decided to create dependency.
still good. You'd re-examine the pill. So she asked the audience to ignore the manufacturer's stated intentions. It seems she made the
She said they decided to make it to where you would be dependent on this pill. So if you found out that the pill worked without the dependency aspect, then you would just get rid of that. Or if it works, but you've already decided that like the benefits outweigh the negative side effects of dependency, then you would still take it. Like it doesn't. But this is totally disanalogous overall. It doesn't really matter. But the point is that like the intent of the creator doesn't matter. There's tons of things that were made like by the Nazis for white people and shit like that. Who gives a fuck? Like finding out that Tommy Hilfiger only wants white people to wear his clothes and then he made something for just white people to wear. Well, if you're a black person and you like the fucking clothes, who gives a fuck if that's their intent? Like if you think you look good in the fucking clothes, like you'd still wear the clothes. Who gives a fuck? Like it's a vibes based argument. That's all it is. It's just vibes based. It's like, oh, this feels weird. This is not like a logical thing. It's just like, oh, it feels bad for me to do something for a purpose, for somebody else's purpose that I don't agree with. Like, okay, that's your fifi. So yeah, she said, which part of my analysis would you like to easily dismantle? Pick the weakest point and show me where the reasoning fails. So I said the last one. Your argument is illogical. The basis for the argument is factually incorrect. And your analogy isn't analogous. It just doesn't matter why someone created something as long as you're not being coerced into doing it for their purpose. So I'm saying if like for the pill, if somebody's coercing you into taking the pill, or they're not telling you that it's they don't tell you that it's like gonna cause dependency, then like sure, now you're secretly being tricked into taking this thing, or you're being forced to take it, to where yeah, that makes sense that like this would be a problem. But that's not the problem here. So it doesn't matter what the original purpose was, because you weren't coerced into it, you weren't tricked into doing it. So who cares? Like it doesn't make a difference. So I said, in your medicine hypothetical, there's some secret motive behind the current product. With feminism, the argument isn't even being made that that's the current motive of the current movement. So yeah, like they're not even making the argument that currently feminism is trying to destroy the family, that currently feminism is this, you know, witchcraft and demonic thing. Like they're not even making that argument. They're just making the argument that it used to be. Therefore, you're carrying out the wishes of bad people. Ooh, isn't that bad? Isn't that bad? This is what they do with the with like Planned Parenthood as well, where like they have the like a creator, the initial creator of Planned Parenthood, who was somebody who wanted to get rid of black people. And this is one of the ways that they wanted to use abortion, is to get black women to have abortions to where they could hopefully wipe out or at least slow down the black race. But over time, they moved on to different people. I think it was Margaret Sanger who was trying to, you know, limit the amount of black people who were doing this. But yeah, over time they have new leadership, they have different people taking over, and they progress with liberals, and now their purpose is to just give people the option of having an abortion if they want one. Who gives a fuck if the original creator made this to try to end the black community? And a lot of times they'll be like, but isn't it weird though that black women are disproportionately getting abortions? Like, isn't that, I mean, come on, like, you guys are actually carrying out what Margaret Sanger wanted. You're doing it. You're doing it for her. It's like, who cares? What does that have to do with anything? It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't, like, if it turned out that, like, Hitler actually wanted you to smack mosquitoes on your arm when they bit you, like, would that mean that you'd stop smacking mosquitoes on your arm? Who gives a fuck? What does that have to do with anything? It doesn't matter. Like, it wouldn't mean anything. It's a fucking stupid argument. It's totally irrelevant. So yeah, so I'm just saying, like, I said in your medicine hypothetical, there's some secret motive behind the current product. With feminism, the argument isn't even being made that that's the current motive of the movement. If Nazis created hammers to bash Jews in the head, and now today I use it to hit nails, but once in a while someone still buys hammers to bash Jews in the head, the original intent behind the product isn't why it's being used that way. Feminism is a tool for equal treatment. In order for Rachel's argument to matter whatsoever, she would have to make the argument that people are being coerced against their will to use feminism for another person's purpose, like with your medicine analogy. But more importantly, the reason for feminism wasn't to end the family. Ending the nuclear family was a way for them to get equal treatment, meaning the goal was equal treatment. So the entire argument is just false. Say yes, like the goal of feminism was not, like, the stated intent was not to end the nuclear family. They felt they wanted freedom, right? They wanted more freedoms, they wanted more liberties, they wanted to end patriarchy, right? And so they felt like the nuclear family is this idea that you, like your husband and the wife and their kids, they're not supposed to live with other people. They're not supposed to live with other family members. They're not supposed to live with their parents or grandparents or anything like that. They're supposed to live by themselves with their kids. That's it. And that this structure creates a system where the man is more able to, like, abuse the wife because nobody else is around. He's more able to force her into doing things, and there are less there's less parental figures in the house, to where the kids don't have as much of an opportunity as they would if they had a bunch of aunts and uncles and grandparents and stuff like that around. And so they feel like this structure is making it worse for women and more easy for men to abuse them. So they want to end the nuclear family, not families. They don't want to end family, but they want to end the nuclear family. So they're not trying to end the nuclear family, like, because they hate it. They want to end the nuclear family because that gives them more freedom, that this helps them end patriarchy. Today, that isn't really a stated goal anymore. That's not really a part of feminism anymore. But the goal is not to end, like, feminism, to end the nuclear family. Ending the nuclear family is a tool used to gain more freedom. So just the fact that that was part of, like, the original intent behind it, or a part of, like, what it was that they were trying to accomplish to gain more freedom, it doesn't mean anything if they're not currently trying to do that. It doesn't matter. Even though currently feminism may be a part of why the nuclear family is starting to dissipate, that doesn't matter. That the goal is still happening without that being the intent. It literally means nothing. So yeah, I said the entire argument is just false from the start. If someone else wants equal treatment, calls themselves a feminist, but tries to achieve it through different means, the old version would be insanely irrelevant. I was going to DM you to invite you on to talk, but your DMs aren't open. And then she responded with this. I didn't even read it. She responded with a fucking book. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 paragraphs. I read the first couple of paragraphs. So she said, since you said my analysis was illogical and factually incorrect, I expected you to identify an actual logical error or factual inaccuracy. I did! I did! I did! She said, but you didn't. Your coercion point is a straw man. My medicine analogy was never about people being forced to take something. I never said that. I never fucking said that. I never said it. It never happened. I never fucking said that that was the case. It never fucking happened. I said your argument is illogical. The basis for the argument is factually incorrect, and your analogy isn't analogous. It just doesn't matter why someone created something as long as you're not being coerced into using it for their purpose. In your medicine hypothetical, there's some secret motive behind the current product. But I didn't say you're being coerced. I said there's a secret motive behind it. I don't know. So yeah, I saw that part and just responded to that and said I was asking to have a debate, like on stream where I can talk, or where we can talk. Having to go through paragraphs and just respond with "I never said that" over and over and over isn't interesting to me. I didn't say you called the medicine example coercion. You seem to miss the entire point of what was said there. It said it doesn't matter unless it's coercion, and then I went on to explain how it's not coercion. And then you named a bunch of reasons my hammer example was disanalogous because it has no ideology or political framework. Yeah, she says, you are admitting that the architects, oh wait. She says your hammer analogy is a category error because a hammer has no ideology, no institutional framework, no policy agenda, and no ability to reshape how people think about family. Bro, my hammer analogy is compared to her medicine example. I'm combating her medicine example with the hammer analogy. Medicine also doesn't have the ability it doesn't have ideology or institutional framework or policy agenda or the ability to reshape how people think about family or law or social structure. It doesn't do any of those things either. Your medicine example doesn't do any of that. So if you're saying that you can't use an analogy for those reasons to compare to the other thing, then your analogy is fucking dead as well. But my analogy is analogous to your analogy either way, and that's not a good reason for her to discount the analogy anyways. It's absolutely fucking stupid. So yeah, this is why I said I said it doesn't matter unless it's coercion. And then you named a bunch of reasons for why my hammer example was disanalogous because it has no ideology or political framework, etc. All the same things that apply to your medicine example, which was the thing that I was combating. If you actually thought those were issues, you'd have to have the same problems with your own medicine hypothetical. That's all the misunderstandings that I'm willing to correct over text. If you want to have a real debate, DM me. So yeah. This is Twitter purgatory? Like, dude, this is absolutely fucking insane. You gotta have a talk on stream, really? Yes, there's no, the problem with this is that, like, as soon as she would start any one of these sentences in a conversation, I would immediately stop her and be like, hold on, that's not what I said. You're misunderstanding. And have to like re-explain it to her. Here, she's just like typing up this whole thing like, oh yeah, you think that? Well, I got you here, buddy. Ha ha ha. Like, that's not what I fucking said. You're just totally misunderstanding every fucking part of this. Holy shit. And then I read one other part. You also said ending the nuclear family was the method they chose to get equal treatment. Please think about what you've just conceded here. You are admitting that the architects identified the family as an obstacle. Who cares? My whole argument is that it doesn't fucking matter. That's the whole argument. The whole argument is that it doesn't matter. So you need to realize what you're admitting here. No, it's not an admission. It's not conceding anything. The whole point is that it doesn't fucking matter. That's the whole point. Definitions, Tom. Clarify the definitions of hammer. That's what can you define medicine for me, please? What do you mean by medicine? Why does she have that accent?
I watched the entire 6-hour debate between Rachel Wilson and Brianna Sixto.
So you didn't have to.
And there are a few key moments of the debate that are really worth digging into.
I think because she's from Europe.
Argument that because people disagree with my personal political beliefs, that I should take away their right to vote.
Driana didn't actually address Rachel's point here, which was a strategic one. If Driana's goal is to preserve conservative outcomes, and she claims to be a conservative, and women as a group consistently vote more to the left than men,
So yeah, that is that's fucking obnoxious. But maybe she'll DM me. You guys should go comment on it and tell her to come debate. Here's the link. Okay. Oh wait, the clock hit 0. Okay. We got $13 to go on the goal. The clock has hit 0, so where's she from? I would assume it's like Switzerland or or German sort of accent, one of those. You're gonna tell her you think her accent is Russian? Her accent is definitely not Russian. It's like it sounds like, yeah, like either German or fuck, I keep wanting to say like it's not Holland that I'm thinking of, but that, you know, that fucking area. No, not Polish. Yeah, like Dutch. Yeah.
across Western democracies, because they are rooted in trade differences that
Tom doesn't know European accents. What do you think? Where do you think she's from? You think she's French?
rooted in trade differences that don't change. It was a very sneaky point to make because the way that Driana framed her argument was meant to make Rachel look like a racist no matter what she said. Let's keep watching.
Because we all have inherent
It says United Kingdom. So that would make it German, right? It's a Slavic accent.
I watched the entire 6-hour debate between Rachel Wilson and Brianna Sixto.
So you didn't have to.
And there are a few key moments of the debate to preserve conservative outcomes, and she claims to be a conservative, and women as a group consistently vote more to the left than men, then expanding or restricting the electorate becomes a question of incentives and consequences, not abstract rights. So under this premise, it logically makes sense to only allow men to vote. Let's keep watching.
because then you'd have to make the argument, Rachel, that we should take away Black people's rights to vote, or that would be a good thing.
Why?
Because
Why would we have
let
to
me
say that?
finish.
French who learned English from a Brit is my guess. Nah, that's Austrian. I mean, she sounds like... what was Destiny's ex-girlfriend's name? I mean, his ex-wife. What was her name? I keep wanting to say Melania. Melina? It sounds like her accent to me. Fuck, stop! Holy shit! Dude, it was fucking annoying.
You remind me of the 20 letters in the alphabet. U-R-A-Q-T. Aw. But it's 26 actually. You can get that D later.
This sounds like that kid. Swedish? Yeah, I said Swedish earlier. You said like Swedish or German or like one of those.
Because black
doesn't work because the claim about women's voting patterns is based on biological.
Breadbox tipped $13. Heading out for tonight but giving you the perfect size tip that you want and need, Mr. Tom. Kissing face emoji, kissing face emoji, kissing face emoji, no homo.
Oh yes, it is homo. It is very homo. Thank you. Thank you for your very homo dono. Very homo domo. Let's go. W breadbox. W breadbox. Let's go. Yeah, it still sounds German.
Sex difference that are innate, they're cross-cultural and stable across time, whereas Black Americans voting Democrat is just a political alignment that has changed historically, and it is driven by political.
Joe Rogan podcast news posted Rachel Wilson. Why do I think women shouldn't vote? If women didn't vote anymore, we would never have another Democrat president. We would never have another Democrat Senate. And we would never have another Democrat Congress. Driana replied to this, or sorry, Miss K replied to this and said Driana didn't actually address Rachel's point, which was a strategic one, and she fucking posted 5 paragraphs in this one as well. Yep. What's your Twitch? I don't stream on Twitch. Did you guys see a while ago? Okay, so do you guys remember?
On and get this thing.
We went over the debate between the PBD podcast guy, not him, but the other guy. I don't remember his name. It's the guy from Valuetainment. He debated Dave Smith on Israel. Adam? Yeah. Adam. On the PBD podcast, okay? PBD, when we were going over this, I kept complaining about the fact that Adam was just not responding to anything that that Dave Smith was saying. Adam was just not responding to his arguments at all. Like whatsoever. He would just go off on these long rants, and even Dave would stop him once in a while and be like, bro, this is not like relevant. Can you stay on topic, please? And And Adam would be like, no, let me finish. And then still would never come back around to actually address the argument. PBD, after this, ripped into Adam, like, publicly. And it was very embarrassing. Did you see PBD go at him? That's what I'm talking about. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Like it was not. It was a bad look for Adam. It was definitely not a good look for Adam at all. It looks like they don't have it on the channel.
Adam, you were on the Dave Smith. You and Dave Smith did a debate together on.
And Adam does the same thing here. He literally does the same thing here, where he just, like, it's obvious that PBD is trying to get to a point, and Adam keeps trying to, like, grasp at whatever he's saying, and then just take it in a different direction to avoid the criticism. He keeps doing it, where he's not responding to what it is that PBD is saying here.
What do you call it? On Piers Morgan. I think that's the first time you were ever on.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the market has responded, and they've been, saying their thoughts on how it went, what you did, what was said. Dave has retweeted and said something about this is the end of Adam funeral. He made some comments that went viral. You've responded. You made some videos at him as well. But I just want to kind of get, because a lot of times from the audience, you have to know how this works. The audience sits there and watches and says, I know for a fact Pat prepped him and the team prepped him and this and this and that, and they don't know what happens. I want you to share with us, because the audience is curious. They're asking me, what is your impression on how you did on the debate with Dave Smith?
Well, despite what you think, I haven't listened or watched any of the internet comments. Zero. Like I don't go onto Twitter. I don't check the comments. It's just not something that I do. Some people are messaging me on my neck. What do you think? I don't know. People are saying stuff, and I'm listening to a song called "Ain't Nothing Gonna Break My Stride, Ain't Nothing Gonna Slow Me Down," and that's how I feel about this. So they told me last minute, "Hey, you're gonna go on Piers Morgan." Sure. I think Tom was maybe gonna do it. Tom wasn't able to do it. They called me up. I said, "Sure."
Nah, I was never gonna do it.
I'll debate Dave Smith. Listen, there's no doubt that Dave Smith is smart or wise or well-read.
Yeah.
The same thing could be said about when you debated a room full of 20 communists on Jubilee. They were all very smart. I was very impressed by all these people. But just because you're smart doesn't mean you're wise. Now, do I think Dave Smith is smart and capable? Sure. Do I think he's funny? No. Do I think he's right? Definitely not.
I'm asking you, how do you think you did?
I think I did fine. My intention.
It's just, yeah, he's not coming anywhere close, and then he's trying to do this, like, oh, I don't care what they say. Ain't nothing gonna break my stride. I don't fuck the fucking comments. They're like, he's just bringing up the comments to say that, like, people have their opinions. We'll go over those. First, want to hear what you think, how you think you did, and he's just not coming anywhere close to answering.
Wasn't to play nice. So I went on Piers Morgan. I don't really have plans on going on Piers Morgan every single day. That's not my thing. It's a food fight every single day.
Why? It's not a fucking answer. Nobody asked you that. What is he doing?
I wanted to make some waves. That was my methodology. I could be right. I could be wrong. I don't care.
Okay. So
the problem is
you said you don't care?
No, meaning like I don't care what the market thinks of me.
Yeah.
I know what I believe. I know who I am. I know what I stand for. I stand for what America stands for. Dave Smith, what pissed me off, he continues to say that America is the greatest terrorist regime in the world.
So what?
And that Israel is the greatest terrorist regime in the Middle East.
So what? That's his argument.
Sure. That's his argument. My point was that only 1% of Americans vote for libertarians. He's a hardcore radical libertarian. Okay. So when you wrote the book, Choose Your Enemies Wisely, you said, who's your enemy?
Yeah.
I said, I don't know who my enemy is. I don't really have a lot of enemies. You know me, Pat.
Hey, how do you think you did? Well, Dave Smith, his point is this thing, and nobody votes for libertarians anyway. So, like, what I stand for America. America doesn't even vote for libertarians. So I just wanted to make waves. Like, holy shit, dude.
It's a big difference in the internet and comments in real life. I walk around in real life. I have zero issues.
You don't have issues there. That's not the conversation I'm having.
The conversation that I was just basically establishing is that Dave Smith, as potent as he might be on a podcast,
He didn't ask you
or even
about
on
Dave
Joe
Smith.
Rogan's for that matter, people don't support this guy. I support our troops. I support America. I support our allies.
I think Joe's had him on 20, 30 times.
Irrelevant.
No, it's not irrelevant. So ask whether you agree with the guy or not. You know, Joe likes Dave, right? So the question you got to ask yourself is, from my perspective, there is issues, there is approach, there is what's next for you. When I look at everybody in a marketplace, including myself, everybody in a marketplace, including myself, I leave and I say, okay, how am I recreating myself for this next phase? What areas do I have where it's a leak for me? What habits do I have that I need to pay attention to? When we started building an insurance company, yesterday I had Lee Strobel on, we had a great conversation together. One of the guys I would study a lot was Billy Graham. And Billy Graham and his friends, in 1948, they came out with something called the Modesto Manifesto. And at that time, there was a lot of pastors that were getting caught up with young girls. And they came up with this thing saying, hey, what are our threats? And they came up with the threats that they had. It was 4 things. One of the ones was pastors hooking up with members. Number 2 was churches taking advantage of the members with money. Number 3 was the ego of a pastor when you get on stage and you feel like, you know, you are God. Like some pastors actually become God-like because of how much the church fears them and they liked anyways. They go through this. I said, okay, how do we want to build this company? It's very hard. So you got to think about ways to improve. I'm asking you. The argument is one end because I don't know if you focused on making I've seen you make better arguments with Bassem Youssef than you did with Dave Smith. I didn't see you making arguments on Dave Smith. And the reason why I'm doing this with you openly and I'm talking.
True. Yeah. Nobody saw him make any arguments with Dave Smith. He didn't make any fucking arguments. He just rambled forever. When PBD speaks, I just hear the impersonator guy. Huh. I don't think of any. I can't think of any impersonations of him. I think I vaguely remember. Oh, that's right. That's right. The guy who does, the Russian guy, and yeah. Okay.
To openly with you is there's an element of also representing where you're coming from, where the expectation is, hey, when you go and be professionals, that's not how I handle debates. I don't handle debates that way. That's not my MO. So if you're close to me and you're handling it that way, that is not my style. I don't do stuff like that. And Dave and I don't even agree on some of these issues. But if I'm having a conversation, it's about.
Isn't it unbelievable to live in a world where these men are so influential? Something bad happened. Seriously, dude. Seriously, I mean, I think about this all the time. Like, especially with like the size of my audience, the fact that I've like declined pretty rapidly. Like once I moved heavily into politics, especially, it's a big shift for the audience that I built and like what the algorithm pushes me to. So it's a drastic difference now. And I look at people like this and I really think like, damn, dude, how the fuck are they able to gain like such an audience when they're all so fucking stupid? They're all just so fucking dumb and like they have nothing to add. They have nothing insightful to say. They have nothing of value to give people except they bring like famous people on. Like that's about it. They bring famous people on. They bring people who actually are who actually do have something to say or do have something to add. But half the time it's still people who don't have anything to add. It's people like a Dave Smith or a bunch of these other dumb fucks who the people like this should have been pushed out of like the marketplace of ideas on day one. Like the first time they ever thought, hey, I'll take a stab at this, they should have been completely eviscerated, just completely knocked out to where they never had another chance. They never felt like they could have another chance at taking a stab at it again. If the world was in a good place, if America was in a good place, guys like this would never feel like they should be talking about politics. But like PBD, he built his platform on like talking about business. And, people like Myron Gaines built his platform on yelling at OnlyFans girls. And like a lot of these people, they built their platforms on things that are totally different. Joe Rogan, all these people, a lot of them built their platforms on something totally different and then transitioned that into politics afterwards. So it's It's really it is the like influencer culture, and this is why I talk a lot about the way that people change their minds, the way that people are influenced, the way that people listen, is that they first have to like you. They first have to like respect you. They first have to feel as though you're an interesting person or you're somebody that they're willing to listen to. Then what comes after is you're now able to influence them. You're now able to say something and they'll think about it. They'll hear it. They'll consider it because you said it. Like, that is the really important part. So when people listen to them and they respect what they have to say about business, okay, well, I like this guy. And so now all of a sudden he starts talking about politics. Well, you already have them in your head as some sort of authority. And so it doesn't matter what they talk about now. You're going to listen to them in the same kind of manner. Your brain has already categorized them.
What is this next phase? And by the way, the reason why I'm having this direct feedback with you publicly is for the following reason. This is how I roll, Adam. I will give you private feedback and have your back 100%. I've always been like that. This is why my guys like working with me, and they know how tough it is at times because I'm always challenging them. But if my private feedback that I'm giving doesn't land, and it feels like you have immunity to go run around and say whatever you want and keep saying, I don't give a shit what people say, I do. There's an approach to take about this game. I don't care that we have differences and debates. We push each other here and we have arguments and, you know, comment, I side with Vinny today. You know what? Today, actually, I side with Adam. You know, there was a couple moments where you had a couple clips of like, they sided with you. I think Adam's the point today. And I'm like, oh, okay, Adam had a point. And then, hey, Tom, no, I'm siding with Tom today. Pat, you were off today. No problem. But it's recreating for the next phase of what is that next phase for you. And that's a very important thing for you to be thinking about. I've had that conversation with him, recreating himself. I've had the conversation with him, recreating himself. I have the conversation openly with me on what I need to recreate. But for me, when I saw that, I'm like, you know, you brought up another guy from the past that beat Dave. Great. You know, you brought up, no, there needs to be the Adam that I've seen debate that is prepared. He actually would have made some real good points there. And you, by the way, you've been a moderator for Zero Hedge with Dave Smith and what do you call it, Laura Loomer, if I'm not mistaken. Is that what you did? Didn't you moderate? Yeah. Yes. And I was a pretty good job you did as a moderator. So I don't know. I'm saying this publicly to say this next phase requires all of us to recreate ourselves, and that includes you in a big way. And I've said this privately 8 weeks ago, 9 weeks ago at that dinner place we went to, and I was very direct with you. But you're cornering me to have to say this publicly to you right now. And you have to make a decision on what you want to do with this next phase. You got to recreate yourself. Sure. It's a very important thing. I'm being very respectful to you. And you had no idea that I'm going to go here this morning. You had no clue I'm going. And by the way, I intentionally changed today's business podcast to do this because obviously Monday I couldn't be here. We had certain things that was going on. This weekend I had, what do you call it?
SLS.
SLS. Sean Hannity did it last Friday, so I changed everything. And Rob and I, we had to talk about it yesterday and calendar to do it this way. But for me, sometimes, you know, when people say, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. And sometimes this is like the Trump effect. Well,
It's
Trump
a
doesn't
defense
care.
mechanism.
Well, Trump doesn't give a shit. Well, Trump doesn't do this. Well,
most of the time it's a defense mechanism, like unless it's something super subjective, right? Like there's things that are really, really subjective that are like how you do in a debate performance. It makes sense to say that, like, I don't care if people think I won or not, or I don't care if people think that that I'm smarter than Dave Smith or something like that. Like that, sure, to some extent that can make sense. But in this case, I would imagine the feedback was probably pretty much across the board, that like even if you were on Adam's side, even if you agreed with his statement, you probably felt let down by his performance in that debate because he just didn't make any arguments. He just didn't engage the entire time. So I think that a lot of times when something is like this unanimous and somebody is doing the like, oh yeah, fuck those people, I don't give a fuck, like I think most of the time it just comes off as a defense mechanism.
Contrary to popular belief, Trump looks at every poll. Trump listens to every comment. Trump listens to every criticism. So what you think that Trump does, I'm not telling you go read the comments the next day and go through all chat. I don't recommend that at all. But I do believe a little bit of criticism.
Like I think Dave Smith he's not a very, I don't think he's a very bright guy. I don't think that he's like, I don't think he's very smart. I think that I could have gone on there and argued as a as a Zionist, like a hardcore Zionist, and just argued against Dave Smith much better than Adam did, and just gone in full in on like, no, Trump's war is awesome. This is brilliant. I'm super happy with the war.
To see, well, maybe there's a little bit of credibility there. There's a little bit of value there for me to receive. How can I receive this and recreate myself? Because if you're not too careful, Adam, and I'll open it up to you guys if you want to say anything. I'll give you the final thoughts, and then I want to get on the next story, but I wanted to open up with us, get right into it, is the following. There is no April Fool's jokes today. I don't have one. Okay, so if you guys are expecting an April Fool's joke, I don't have one. This is not an April Fool's joke. I know what day today is. This is not, I've had certain friends of mine that are very good. I used to be very good at the April Fool's stuff. I don't have one today. Maybe I'll have one for you next year when I'm in a different mood. But this is the part I want you to be thinking about. Is the market is going to criticize you. There's a very big difference between the bots. I read a comment yesterday, made the most disrespectful comment to me. And the first thing I did, I went to the account. It got started in February of 2026.
Oh, weird.
It has 2 followers, follows 6,000 accounts. That's a bot of somebody that created to say it. Forget about the bots. There are some people that are giving real feedback that we have to pay close attention to because, we can disagree. Even with the Dave Smith part, Dave Smith's issues, we can sit down and have a debate over the number, and I can still do it respectfully. Even when I went to Jubilee, they disrespected me. I didn't disrespect the kids when I spoke to them. Our position has to be a different position. And even when Trump calls out, he still is very paying attention to the likability score that he has. Love him or hate him, people like him. I'll pause. Vinny, any thoughts you had?
Respond real
of
quick,
course, absolutely.
So I'll just break this down real quick. We didn't have this discussion prior. You just kind of preemptively brought this up, and I'm totally okay with it. If I wanted to have a ideological debate with Dave, I would probably rephrase it that the world is a dangerous place, and he wants to pretend that he's an ostrich and not engage with anybody. So, to use an analogy, if this guy was a dating coach, he would say, just sit at home all day and wait for women to knock on your door, and that's when you can respond to women. The world doesn't work that way. If you're a sales coach or if you're a sales manager, that's like saying, just stay by the phones.
What do you think's the outcome of a debate?
But the outcome of a debate.
Forget Dave Smith. This isn't a Dave Smith conversation. That could have been John Doe. I'm not talking.
But the point is that I'm trying to make
with the purpose of a debate?
We're not aligned.
What is the purpose of a debate?
To find the truth.
The purpose. It's a clash of ideas.
Sure.
So somebody can watch and say, "Wow, good point. Never thought about it that way. Let me go back and look at it." Right? That is the purpose of a debate. The purpose of a debate is for me to look at something when, like the moment where Hillary Clinton and Trump are going at it, and Hillary says, him and all he didn't pay any taxes, and he didn't do this, and he didn't do that. And then the moderator asks Trump a question and says, "Is it true that you paid this?" He says, "Yes. I will use every single tax code that you have, just like all her donors do. And by the way, you've been there for 36 years. How come you've never changed it?" So me as the voter sits there and says, that's a very good point. Huh. You've been there for 30. That's the debate. It gets people thinking.
Sure.
So if I'm going into a debate and I didn't make anybody think, what was the purpose of debate?
Sure. Well, now, fair point. Well, the point that I was trying to make is that ideologically we're not aligned here. I'm supporting Trump. Was I supporting Trump for 5, 10 years ago?
No, you were not.
So I'm all behind Trump. Everybody wants to criticize Trump right now. The thing that I'm basically establishing is the fact that this guy has the luxury of living in America and wants to criticize the heck out of Trump when I'm defending Trump and our troops. The point that I was saying is I'm defending Trump. Dave's the type of person that will root for the bad guy in the bad movie. So that's who Dave is. Aside from that, other than that, I understand what you're talking about. The reason I brought up the Coleman Hughes, and I encourage people to go watch it, this was the sort of like the swan song event. Imagine you hype up this event. Here's what's going on. The SLS is coming this weekend. Here's what's going on. And this debate takes place, and it was a 12-0 drubbing. So that's my point. Should I have conveyed it a little bit better? Sure. Should I have not brought up someone else's debate in my debate? Maybe I'll learn that for the next time. That's.
It was a 12-0 drubbing? What does that even mean? Is he saying that he killed Dave Smith in this? It doesn't sound like he still doesn't sound like he's engaging with what it is that Patrick's saying, but is he saying that he just like wiped the floor with Dave Smith?
It's fine. But the reality is this: he got whooped, and I called him out on it. That's all it was.
Yeah, but it was your fight and his
debate in my debate. Maybe I'll learn that for the next time. That's fine. But the reality is this: he got whooped, and I called him out on it. That's all it was.
He got whooped, and I called him out on it. Yeah. Yeah. This is not sinking in. This is not sinking in.
Yeah, but it was your fight and his.
Sure.
Oh, okay. So yeah, okay. So he's saying he's calling him out on getting whooped in another debate. Oh.
For the next time, I'll debate him just heads on. I brought up something from the past.
But my feedback isn't actually that. My feedback is, it's okay to pay attention to the pulse of the market every once in a while. Good feedback's being given. Not 80% of people, not 90% of people, but there are reasonable people that will give you good feedback.
Sure.
And none of us, there's not a single human being in the world that actually likes to be given feedback that we get excited about it. So it's not like anybody likes it, but it's in those moments where your character is being tested to say, you know what? Let me receive some of this and see if there's some good feedback and then process it.
I'm going to turn this over to Vinny. I'll just say one thing. You know what Vinny and I do when you're not around?
What's that?
We say, hey, what feedback do you have for me? What feedback for me? We actually talk. We actually convey. How many times have we done stuff like that?
The difference is, you know what the difference is?
What's that?
Here's the difference. So this event at SLS, I asked the question because I used to always look at my guys and judge them on how hard they work, how great they're on scripts, how many books they read, and all this stuff. Eventually, I'm like, let me look at it in a different way. It was, how much information does this guy retain from what I teach? So you teach something, this guy retains 10%, that guy retains 20%, this guy retains 30%. Then the next thing is, okay, so he's winning on retaining information. He's smarter than you, let's just say, hypothetically, right? Okay. Now the next part is what? What's after retention? Implementation.
Execution.
So he only implements of the 30% he retained, 5%. He retained 20%, but he executes 20%. You retain 10%, but you implement 50%. Then it comes to coachability. Then it becomes the speed of implementation. Then all of that stuff. Feedback is feedback. It's receiving and implementing that matters. That score of coachability, high-low, is the difference between you and Vinny. And that's the coachability marker that I want you to be internalizing for yourself. So, Vinny, again, I don't want to be on this too long. I want to move on. But if you want to say something,
this will take me 2 minutes. From a debate point of view, because I'll give both sides. He's never been in this environment, meaning when they send a van, when I go and do these debates with a panel of 6, everybody's yelling, talking over each other. People don't realize you're in a van, you're sitting in the sun in Florida. I'm red. I know you were hot. Even what's his name was in there. Jaden was in there. People are like, he's on cocaine. I read the comments because I want to know what.
That makes so much sense. Oh my goodness. I cannot tell you the amount of times I've sat there wondering why his face is so red every time he's on the Piers Morgan show, but then when he's on this show, he looks perfectly fine. They literally put them in a van. And they sit in the back of a van with like a little setup in there. That's wild. That's wild. Mainly because they've got a whole studio here. They've got numerous sets. I've seen at least like 5 different sets here. They have a whole freaking studio here. And they're going and putting them in a van for Piers Morgan's show. That is strange, bro. That is odd.
What the temperature is. The negatives were obviously you referred to another debate, which nobody wants to do. You were a little off. I felt, because I know you as a brother.
I thought Piers' studio is in Fox Building. Wait, you thought that all of these people were going and doing this panels in Piers' studio while they're all on separate screens? What?
I know that you were nervous. This is what bothered me, Adam. We are in here, and I know what's going to happen today on this.
Nah, he's still red. Bro, your screen's broken. Your screen is broken.
Podcast. Israel's gonna be brought up, and we're gonna go into it. You are amazing at that debate, and I was disappointed because you're in the moment and you refer to whatever you.
No, the in person. Well, this one wasn't done in person. The panels are never like they rarely do them in person.
You have the arsenal. You had the ammunition. You had this big ass arsenal, and you just used a pistol. You were just like kind of going after and doing personal. And I was disappointed because I was like, yo, you have it. You have it. You didn't use it. And this is my attitude. When I was young and I'd get my ass whooped, my mom.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Nobody's saying that Piers doesn't have a studio. Holy shit.
Like, you're going to go outside. You're going to fight that guy right now. You're not going to sit there and let it fester. I know that you're going to do it. You have to debate him again. You have to do it again.
Sure. Okay. All right, Tom, you don't look like you have anything to say. It's all good. We can.
I don't have anything to say.
Tom, it's all your fault. I was filling in for you, bro.
No.
Let's.
No. Pat was very articulate about it. He's got standards. We get feedback. We try to meet those standards. And we want to represent well wherever we are.
Okay. All right. All good. Thank you, Tom. We got a lot of messages, Pat. You know, Monday, who do I go to if we don't have the podcast we were expecting? We changed the business podcast. Yesterday, I sat down with Lee Strobel for 2 hours. Great conversation. The author Case for Christ. Tomorrow, we're going to have Richard Werner.
Okay. So, yeah, it was interesting after watching the actual debate and how poorly he did there. It was interesting to see them actually confront him on this publicly. And he says there that, like, lots of times, most of the time, he'll give them feedback and criticism behind the scenes privately. But if he starts to notice that they're not retaining this information, they don't seem to actually be making any of the changes that he's recommending, well, now he feels it's necessary to give a public confrontation. And so it sounds as though they've had this sort of conversation in the past, and he's just not listening. So
how fast can we go into Iran and get this thing knocked out of the way? And who do you think was in that meeting? Probably Bibi. That's the New York Times story. And let me go through this, and I'm going to turn it over to you.
Perfect.
So
segue.
for me, that meeting took place.
Yep, you're right.
And in that meeting, here's the problem. That I feel his frustration. You know what the frustration I feel for him is the following. And I want you to tear apart my argument. If you want to find anything that you find leaks, tear it apart, okay? I have a feeling in that moment he sat there and he's like, you're telling me this is going to be a quick operation? Yes, we're going to go in, we're going to wipe out the 50 leaders, and they're going to be so scared, they're going to come out and they're going to do this, and it's going to be done, and we're going to go in Venezuela, maybe a little bit tougher, but we need 2 to 4 weeks. Are you sure? Bibi's like, Mr. President, the intel we have with Mossad, we are scored away. This is going to be easier than we think. And then he says, so, okay, great. You think? Yes. Heck said yes. Are we all on the same? These guys are not. Fire those 3 generals. What did that person say? Hey, put the Tulsi outside. She can't be on the inside. So then the president in that moment, this is the burden of being a president. This is a hard job. Guess what the president did in that moment? Trusted who?
Bibi and the intelligence.
Trusted those people. Yep. I didn't say Bibi, because you have the meeting with, see, that's the part that's a little bit manipulative when people say that, Vinny. I have a meeting with Bibi, I have a meeting with Putin, I have a meeting with Xi, and then I come back and I say, what do you think about what Bibi said? And I ask you, you're the final thought, not Bibi.
Right. Yes.
I don't know if you know what I'm saying.
100%. Yeah.
This is Bibi. My next meeting is Rubio. What do you think?
Yeah.
So then Rubio says, Pat, we can't do 2 out of the 4. But at the end of the day, he called the shots. And what's the shots? All right. Because I would ask the question, what percentage do you think this is going to be a 2 to 4 week operation? Mr. President, 80%. And he called the shots. And then the 80% wasn't 80%. Why? One rule. And I said this to you yesterday. And here's a thing that people don't underestimate a lot. This is the biggest thing they underestimate a lot, Vinny. And I really didn't want to go on a 20-minute message with you guys, 10-minute, whatever I'm doing, because I want us to go to other stories. Is the following. One of the greatest quotes ever told in Formula One is, I knew I was going to beat him because he has wife and kids. I knew I was going to beat him because he had wife and kids. What's he trying to say? He's not going to go full speed on the turn. He's not going to go full throttle on the turn because he knows what the risk is of dying. And in that moment, it's like 1/10 of a second. This is the quote.
Yeah, the New York Times article didn't say that that Vance and the generals agreed with Bibi. One of the things that they said about the generals is the fact that Donald Trump seems to mix prescriptive claims and descriptive claims. And so when the generals will say, you know, Trump will come in and say, like, hey, so do you think we can do this? And the generals will say, so I think if we, you know, do this, this, and this, we should be able to make this timeline. And if we, like, take this out and that out, then this should benefit us in the long run, and blah, blah, blah. And that, like, he takes that as them saying, we should do this. But that the majority of the time, before they gave the descriptive, they would start with the prescriptive and say, I think this is a long shot. That doesn't seem like this is really possible. I think that Bibi might be like stretching things a little bit, but, and then they would go into the descriptive, you know, I think that we can do this, this, and this. If we do this, we should be able to do that. Like, and that now all he hears is, okay, we can do it then. Cool. So you agree with me. You agree with Bibi. Like, but as for JD Vance also supposedly said, you know, I disagree, but I'm behind you, and I will, whatever decision you make, I'll back you up. And then they said that pretty much everybody else was like afraid to actually disagree with him and to actually tell him that this was a bad idea. And so the majority of them are just kind of saying things like, hey, whatever you think is best, I'm here for you, like blah blah blah. Like that's the majority, what the majority of them are saying. But then nobody's really agreeing with him overall. So
look at this. I knew he would hit the brakes because he is married and he has 2 children, and I don't. And I don't. Iran is that. The IRGC is a different religion than ours. They don't look at that the same way we do it. They don't look at the religion the way we do it. They look at it as this is a pride.
Can you fire the vice president? I don't know. It's the vice president is part of the ticket, so the vice president is technically getting elected as well. But I would imagine that if he did want to remove him, he would probably have to go through the Senate. Let's see. No, the vice president cannot be fired or dismissed. But the vice president is an elected official rather than an appointee. They can only be removed through resignation or congressional impeachment. While a president cannot remove the VP, they have total control over the responsibilities and influence they grant them. Yeah, that's like, we've talked a lot about the fact that like there's been periods where vice presidents were people who were just there. Like they were just, their job is to be alive if the president dies. Like for a long period, that was just kind of the VP's job. And from my understanding, this like has gone back and forth throughout history, but up and like through Clinton's presidency, this was kind of the case, is that yeah, VPs just didn't really have much influence and much responsibility until George Bush had Cheney as his VP, and that Cheney literally like ran the White House. Like he was pretty much the what's it called, the staff leader or whatever, chief of staff. That he was pretty much the chief of staff, that he like told everybody what to do, when to do it, and that he rarely even ran things past Bush. He would just like come up with his own plans and start having them enacted, and then even after a while started telling George Bush what to do and ordering George Bush around and saying like, hey, this is the plan, you got to get, like, let's go, you got to do your job, and like started like getting him to go do stuff. And so then this drastically changed the way that like culturally we viewed VPs. I don't know how much of that is actually true, but then yes, going into the Obama era, he had Biden, and the two of them were, you know, Biden was like his sidekick and was always given a lot of responsibility.
IRGC if I get killed. This is pride. My prophet's going to be happy with me. He's going to be pleased with me. So what happens when you face an enemy like that? You can't fight him in a Venezuela way, because Venezuela is still a Catholic country. What do Catholics believe in? There is still that, you know how he took a shot at Christians today. He's like, I don't know how you guys would ever, if this guy accepted Jesus Christ. And it's like, it is a very logical argument for a person to say, you're right, what do you say to that? But that's what makes Christianity so beautiful. But in moments like this, Vinny, if I ever had a job like this, and if I'm going through an enemy that I believe he wants to kill my people, my hat, I'm not even kidding with you, in that moment, and I can go to hell for this, but I understand in that moment as the world leader, I have to take off the Christian hat for a month and be a warrior.
Well, Donald Trump took off the Christian hat.
Well, it wasn't a picture. I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor.
You don't care?
It's a distraction. It's a distraction. I just don't care.
As a Catholic,
what I care
you
is that
don't
the
care?
intersection.
Galatians 6:7 says.
I'm not buying the distraction argument again for this one, dude. I'm not buying the distraction argument. I hate the distraction argument a lot of times because it kind of ignores just how absolutely fucking moronic these people are, how clueless they are, how much they really just don't know what the fuck they're doing a lot of times. It takes away like a lot of agency from them and a lot of accountability. Like, oh, it gives them more agency in some of these situations and takes away some of the accountability. Like, it makes it sound like, no, they know what they're doing. They're doing this on purpose. They want you to be mad about this. That's all they're just trying to make you mad. They want you to freak out about this. They want you to make a big deal about this so that you're not paying attention to this other thing. Like, it makes it sound like there's a 5D chess evil genius sort of thing going on where no, he's just fucking stupid. He's just doing stupid shit. He's just a fucking moron. Like, he has absolutely no idea what he's doing in this scenario. I think that's the case here. I think that his own hubris is just allowing him to post stuff that doesn't make any sense. I'm not even sure what hubris is, but I'm pretty sure that that's what it is.
God will not be mocked. The remedy is not 25th Amendment. The remedy is Congress.
Pope Leo's boss got executed and came back from the dead 3 days later. He's not afraid of a Truth Social post.
We have a...
I'm going to end the vertical stream and restart it. So if you guys are watching on vertical, I'm just going to end it and restart it. So if you want to watch on vertical, I will have another one up in just a minute.
A one-man rule, and the one man happens